Let's go. Welcome in, everybody. It's the Rant with me, Pugs Moran, live from the Radio Misfits. We're live from the Kelly Moore Memorial Studios here. Kelly Moore North, KMN is what we call these studios here. We are on the RadioMisfits.com podcast platform. Radio Misfits for all your podcast needs. It's been a week. It's actually been like 2 weeks now of this terrible cold. So please bear with me, folks. Let's get the chat room going. I got to say hi to my chat room people. I don't see anybody chiming in. I mean, I see Peter. Peter was in first. Then we had Leslie. She was in there. We got CC. CC's here. CC tipped the show. CC tipped the show, but CC is not going to be our executive producer of today's show. Sorry, CC. We're going to push you to Monday, okay? Because we got two people who tipped. And our executive producer of today's show is Joel. Joel M. Now, here's what the executive producer of the show does. Nothing. All they did was supported this show yesterday, and that's what a good executive producer does, supports the show. So Joel, he dropped a little tip yesterday in the Venmo or the Cash App, and he's ensured that this show will go forward for at least one more day. And if you want to help out, help support opposition talk, that's what we do here. We're not on the far right. We're not, we're not banned from any Thanksgivings. As a matter of fact, we're the people who people like to see at family gatherings because we're fun and we're loving and we're warm and we're witty and all of that good stuff, right? We're not the 15% on the right with our weird red hats and our crazy fucking opinions and worldview. No, those people are gone. Those people aren't welcome here. If you're one of those people, go. If you can't go to your family's Thanksgiving dinner, then you can't come here and listen to this stream every day because you're one of the 15% on the right that are weird. We just don't want to be around you. Having said that, there's a whole nother group of 15 on the left as well. They're just as bad. I mean, it's like they're the same people. They just have 180 views that are completely different. It's just nuts. So what does that leave when we just completely eliminate the weirdos on the right and the weirdos on the left? What does that leave? That leaves 70% of us. 70% of us normal Americans just going through life. You know, we want to like our neighbors. You know, we want to have fun in our everyday life. We don't want to be angry like that guy we watched yesterday walking into the Target just screaming at a bunch of Mexican kids waiting for Pokemon cards. We don't want that in our lives. We want to be waiting in line for Pokemon cards. That's that's kind of weird too. I don't think that's us either. But you get my point. So that's what we do here every day. And if you support that kind of talk, because God knows nobody else does, you got to be so far right in the streaming world right now to be able to get any kind of traction in listeners or any kind of funding to do this. But we do this every day for the sensible middle. Nobody gives a fuck about us. We're the sensible middle. We've been doing this every day at noon since 2021. Yeah, 2021. It's coming up on 5 years. An outrageous exercise in delusion on my part, but here we are. Hi, Apes. Apes is in the chat room. Adams is in the chat room. My guy Byron is in the chat. Stunned. Absolutely stunned. Hold on. Hold on, chat room. Hold on. This sucks, man. I am not prepared. This just get posted? Yeah, it just got posted. God, just posted 10 minutes ago. Hold on, guys. I got to get caught up, okay? All right. Fuck it. Tip the show if you want, but we've got bigger things to do here. No, not that. Stunned is Byron. Byron's the guy who did it. Thanks, Byron, for ruining my day. Stunned. I'm absolutely stunned. Multiple sources here, credible sources here, sources that would absolutely get this kind of thing right. And why would anyone get this kind of thing wrong? Why would this be a bit? Stunned. Absolutely stunned. Catherine O'Hara is dead at 71 years old. Stunned. One of my favorite people in the history of performing, Catherine O'Hara. National treasure. She's right? I've been saying this pretty religiously since we started here. Every time we talk about our national treasures, Catherine O'Hara is absolutely a national treasure of Canada and the United States. Dolly Parton. What do we got left? What do we got? We got Dolly left. We lose Catherine O'Hara. What do we got left? We got Dolly. Catherine O'Hara, for a lot of people, is probably most recently known for her Emmy-winning, Golden Globe-winning, everything-winning Schitt's Creek show that she was a part of with her longtime ensemble castmate, Eugene Levy, and Eugene Levy's son, Daniel Levy. Catherine O'Hara is a goddess of comedic acting, of Second City improv, of 71 years old. Still hot at 71 years old. She is the star, one of the stars. This is stunning. She is one of the stars of the hottest situation comedy. I don't really call it a situation comedy, but it's a 30-minute show. She's one of the biggest stars, or she's one of the stars of one of the biggest situation comedies in production right now, The Studio on Apple TV. Didn't she just win a Golden Globe for her role in The Studio? Let's read this. This comes to us from TMZ. This is going to be my first read. Shocking. Nobody knew she was sick. I follow her quite closely. I'm quite a big fan of Catherine O'Hara. Going back to being 10 years old, staying up late to watch SCTV. And this, well, she was the hot chick. She was the hot one. She was the hot girl on SCTV. So we're going to watch stuff. We're going to do a whole Catherine O'Hara. I should change the title of the show. This show, fuck it, man. There's a lot of nonsense going on in the world, but holy crap, am I processing that one of my favorite people just died, shockingly. Catherine O'Hara, famous for her work in Schitt's Creek, Home Alone, Best in Show, is dead, TMZ has learned. She's the mom. She's Kevin's mom. She's Mama McAllister in Home Alone. Maybe if you don't know her from Schitt's Creek, her most recent, or I guess The Studio is her most recent thing. But if you don't know her from Schitt's Creek, maybe you know her from Home Alone. She's Kevin's mom. But most people know her for the 15 years of just comedic acting excellence that she did before she started playing mom roles in Home Alone. She was a genius. She was a female comic genius. She could play so many different characters, completely different than. We're going to take a look at some of her characters. Oh, we're going to do a Catherine O'Hara tribute. This is really upsetting. Can we do a normal show? I don't know how long this is going to take. I'm going to have to get this out of my system. Hold on. We should see a let's go. Let's do some pictures. Just so people know who we're talking about. I can't imagine that anyone. Well, this is upsetting. Thanks, Byron. Again, Byron's the guy who did it. Byron did it. Byron killed Catherine O'Hara for me. look at some of these. All right, that's Catherine O'Hara as we most rate. What'd she do? She rock climbing? She wasn't sick. She didn't seem sick. Jeez. There she is. That's SCTV, Catherine O'Hara. Oh, man. Kevin's mom. Look at her. Mom McAllister from Home Alone. She did a lot of stuff. She did a lot of stuff where she was just a side character, where she was just the friend, or she was just the comic relief for somebody else. Oh, look at that. Isn't that cute? Macaulay Culkin. Macaulay Culkin and his mom, the McAllisters. Just always seemed like such a wonderful person. Like if you've ever seen her in interviews, always just, the eyes were always just sparkling and there was always just a smile. She was always seemingly in a fantastic mood. Oh man, just what a lady. All right, let's get back into the official reporting here by TMZ. Again, this is just 15 minutes ago. TMZ posted this. Catherine O'Hara, famous for her work in Schitt's Creek, Home Alone, and Best in Show, is dead. The legendary actress died Friday. Two sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ the cause of death is unclear. Catherine famously played Macaulay Culkin's mother in the first two Home Alone movies, and she appeared as Moira Rose in 80 episodes of Schitt's Creek. Other notable movie credits include a couple mockumentaries, 2000's Best in Show and 2003's A Mighty Wind. Wait, plus Beetlejuice. But wait, wasn't she also in Waiting for Guffman? I thought she was in, she was one of Christopher Guest's stock actresses. Parker Posey, Catherine O'Hara. I'm trying to think who else did he use a lot. I don't know. Catherine's most recent work came opposite Seth Rogen in the Apple TV series The Studio. She earned an Emmy nomination for her work. She won an Emmy for her work in Schitt's Creek in 2020. It followed her first Emmy win back in 1982 for her writing on the sketch comedy series SCTV. Catherine was born and raised in Toronto as the sixth of 7 children, big Irish Catholic girl. And she met her husband, production designer Bo Welch, on the set of 1988's Beetlejuice. They got hitched in 92 and had 2 sons, Matthew and Luke. The last time one of our photogs saw Catherine was at LAX in February of 2024 when we asked her what role she would most want to be remembered for. All right, let's see. Let's see what Catherine O'Hara said back then, shall we? Let's see.
Top 3 reasons you'll love Solo Mio. 1, cool. Kevin James. Enough said. Reason.
You're my favorite actress ever. Okay. And you've been, oh no, seriously, you've been in so many legendary roles. When all is said and done, which one role would you most like to be remembered for?
Mother of my children.
What about acting? That's a good role, like a personal role.
His wife.
Oh, that's good too. These are all
kidding.
These are all PC answers.
Oh, stop! I don't.
You don't know?
No, I can't. But thank you.
No worries. I'm looking forward to seeing you in The Last of Us.
Thank you.
You can do no wrong. Honestly, you really can.
You're very kind.
No worries. It's good to see you, and thank you for being so kind.
Thank you.
Cheers.
She's always kind. What do you mean, thank you for being kind? She's always kind. She's one of the most wonderful people in Hollywood. There's not a person that has an issue with it. She's wonderful. All right. I'm still processing, guys. We got a show. We got stuff that we're supposed to do here. CC's reporting now that Lou Holtz is in hospital. Lou Holtz. I tell you, these kids today, they're out here. They're playing with speed. I used to do a Lou Holtz impression back in the day in Chicago. They're playing with speed. They're playing with aggression. Lou Holtz is sick. I didn't know that, but that's okay. We're talking about Catherine O'Hara. Let's go through her Wikipedia page. Not page I've been to. I'm very familiar with Catherine O'Hara. There it is. Yep. When I first went there about 3 minutes ago, it wasn't, but now it is. You're not officially dead until Wikipedia says you're dead, and Wikipedia says that Catherine O'Hara has died on January 30th, 2026. We got to find out exactly where she fits in the celebrity death roll. Yeah, we do that on this show. We like to keep track of celebrities when they die. I have a theory, as many people do, that celebrities die in threes. So I've been tracking this now for a couple of years. I like to compile a yearly list of celebrity death trilogies, and it's been slow this year. It's been a slow January. I think I don't know where she fits in. So maybe later today we'll figure out where Catherine O'Hara fits in. Does she start a new trilogy? Does she slide into an existing trilogy? Does she end a trilogy? Where does Catherine O'Hara fit in? I'll tell you this. I'm just glad that I just hope to God, because Scott Adams died recently, I just hope to God that Catherine O'Hara isn't stuck with Scott Adams. Although, don't you remember the issue? The issue was that Bob Weir and Scott Adams, the celebrities who die in threes, premise being they have to all live together in a condo in heaven, the celebrity wing of heaven. Three of them, they all live together. That's why they die in threes, because there's 3 bedrooms. So we had Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead, and we had Scott Adams. Bob Weir and Scott Adams were not going to get along. Remember, I told you, there's no way. They're not getting along. These two guys are going to hate each other, Bob Weir of the Grateful Dead and Scott Adams, right-wing piece of shit. They're not going to like each other. So we need a buffer. Catherine O'Hara might have been the buffer. She might have been the good buffer. But I don't think she fits into that trilogy. We'll have to find out. Let's see here. You know, let's see if we can find a nice image of Catherine O'Hara. There she is. That's the Catherine O'Hara that I remember. That's the Catherine O'Hara from the SCTV days when I first discovered her. Catherine O'Hara was born March 5th, 1954. Died January 30th, 2026. She was a Canadian-American actress, comedian, and screenwriter whose career spanned over 50 years. She started her career in sketch and improvisational comedy in film and television before expanding her career, taking dramatic roles. She has received several accolades, including 2 Primetime Emmy Awards, a Golden Globe Award, and 2 Screen Actors Guild Awards. She started her career in the sketch comedy series Second City Television, where she won the Primetime Emmy Award, where she won her first Primetime Emmy Award. She gained acclaim acting in films such as After Hours, 1985, Heartburn, 1986, Beetlejuice, 1988, Home Alone, 1990, and Home Alone 2, 1992. She also collaborated with Christopher Guest, acting in his mockumentary films Waiting for Guffman. Yeah, I knew she was in Waiting for Guffman. Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show, and A Mighty Wind. Oh, and For Your Consideration. Oh, For Your Consideration is such an underrated Christopher Guest movie. For Your Consideration, if you like things that make fun of Hollywood and the Hollywood system, For Your Consideration is a very overlooked Christopher Guest movie. Christopher Guest, of course, of the mockumentaries. For Your Consideration is the story of a really bad movie, a really dumb premise, super lame movie that somehow suddenly gets Oscar buzz. And the film is called For Your Consideration. And the premise is essentially that it's getting Oscar buzz because it's a movie about all things Jewish. Like it's like a Christmas movie called Home for Purim or something, some Jewish holiday. And, you know, just everybody in Hollywood is Jewish. So they're like, let's make it an Oscar winner. Anyway, it's a very funny movie about how nonsense the system is. For Your Consideration. She was one of the stars of it. She was the star of it. She was the actress who suddenly finds herself, after a career of nobody noticing her, nominated for Best Actress because she's in this really stupid film that suddenly everybody's like, it's an Oscar movie. For Your Consideration. Great movie. You should watch that this weekend. That's a good movie. Maybe you've never seen it. Christopher Guest's For Your Consideration, starring Catherine O'Hara. She also voiced roles in films such as The Nightmare Before Christmas, Chicken Little, Over the Hedge, Monster House, Where the Wild Things Are, Frankenweenie, and Elemental. She gained a late-stage career resurgence for her role as Moira Rose in the sitcom Schitt's Creek, 2015 to 2020, earning a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series and a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress in a Television Series. She was Emmy nominated for her portrayal of Temple Grandin's aunt in the HBO film Temple Grandin, serious dramatic role. She also acted in the HBO drama series 6 Feet Under, the Netflix series, A Series of Unfortunate Events, and the Apple TV comedy series The Studio. She is also appearing in the HBO post-apocalyptic drama series The Last of Us. I didn't see season 2 of The Last of Us, but if Catherine O'Hara is in it, I will check it out. Early life. She was born March 4th, 1954. She grew up in Toronto, Ontario, 6th of 7 children. She's of Irish Catholic descent. She has an older sister. She was the older sister to musician and actress Margaret Mary O'Hara. In 1974, O'Hara graduated from college. We don't care. Well, we do care, but I like this picture of her. This is like her headshot. This picture, we see this picture all the time. We'll put this picture up. I think this is a good one. Celebrating the life of the great Catherine O'Hara. I think she'd like this picture. That's a good picture of her. Hold on. We don't know how she died. TMZ doesn't have any information on how she died. We don't know that she was sick. I don't think she was sick. Let me see if we have anything from the studio. Do we have any Catherine O'Hara from the studio? Maybe watch a little bit of that just to see what she was doing most recently. She was really funny in the studio. The studio is like the hot new show on Apple TV. It stars Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen plays a guy who was a film executive who suddenly finds himself in charge of the entire studio. It's a dream come true for him. He's always wanted to run a studio, and now he finds him running the studio. And he's running the studio because they fired the former studio head, who was the legendary so-and-so. This person that Seth Rogen is replacing is a legend in the business. And this person Seth Rogen is replacing is also Seth Rogen's mentor. So he's replacing his mentor, who was a legend in the business, who was shockingly fired. Hollywood is abuzz. Why did they fire Catherine O'Hara? That's Catherine O'Hara's character. She plays the old studio executive who gets fired, and her pupil is now in charge. And they kind of, it's a great show. It's really a good show. Hold on, let's see if we get any. She plays just this hardcore Hollywood cutthroat shark producer. Let's see if Catherine O'Hara. Here we go. The studio, Catherine O'Hara. We'll watch a little bit of this. I don't know if any of you guys have. Studio rewind. How to transport a body. No. I don't know if there's any clips. Might be hard to do clips. Let's see what this is.
If you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane.
Hold on. All right, we're going to watch some Catherine O'Hara stuff. Why not? I'm really upset. Fuck this show. This show may not be what I intended it to be, because we're just going to celebrate the amazing Catherine O'Hara today.
And I will take you with me. Let me gut out this house and if you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane and I will take you with me.
The one my mother gave me.
It's in the closet next to my briefcase.
That's an ostrich bag.
No! No! Open this door, you dead people, or we'll bust it down and we'll drag you out by the ropes you hanged yourself with.
David, I have an urgent campaign-related question. I am approachable.
Is that a question?
Yes, the question is, I am approachable. You'll remember the experience, and you'll remember the name. Herb Irvling. Herblinger. Bing. Lighthanger.
What happened to these people?
They died. Oh, look, an indoor outhouse.
I'd like to check in, please.
Oh my God, where did you come from?
If you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane.
There's got to be.
I will take you with me.
There's got to be more great Catherine O'Hara stuff. Let's see. I'm gonna if there's any. Catherine O'Hara and Seth Rogen present Best Female Actor. And okay, all right, here you go. This was just a couple of months back. Okay, we'll watch this. Her with Seth Rogen.
We are in the fight.
They were really funny together. Her and
Raja
Seth
has
Rogen.
real affordability plans to help first-time home buyers to create a nationwide free lunch program for kids,
All right,
lower
Raj.
healthcare costs, and protect Medicaid.
I say we fight. How about you?
All right, Raj.
Hello. I want to start by saying this old angled camera thing is very weird. It's inelegant, it's strange. This whole half of the room can see my bald spot. I would have filled that in. I said no, but I regret that now completely, so.
You're a beautiful man.
Thank you, appreciate that.
Hello, what an honor it is to be here at one of America's most prestigious award shows. And while I'm grateful that I've won a Golden Globe.
And I'm very grateful to have been in a thing that has won a Golden Globe. We're actually both much more acclaimed for our Canadian work.
That's right, back home. We each have extensive history in award-winning performances.
Yes.
I guess they got stopped at the border.
Exactly. It's stuff you guys haven't heard of, but actually Catherine won not one, but 2 Golden Antlers for her work as Mama Morissette in the Alanis Morissette story.
Thank you. Yes, very, very intense.
Yes, good.
I'm still just letting go.
Yeah.
But what about you and your brave, brave Golden Antler win? Your turn as young Ryan
Yes.
in Gosling,
Yeah.
the Ryan Gosling unauthorized biopic.
Thank you. It was unauthorized, and that Mickey Mouse Club handjob scene was very controversial, but we felt very important to depict. But none of these are compared to your Gilded Gretzky-winning role in An Otter's Tale.
Thank you.
The story of a woman who rescued an otter's cub and nursed it back to health with her own breast milk. And ever since I was a child, I've wondered how you shot those scenes with that otter.
Painfully.
Yes.
I think the otter was method. And I lost half a nipple. But that led to a lot of fun, very hard R-rated comedies.
Yes.
And we really cleaned up with, Pipeline Polly.
Oh yes, Pipeline Polly was great. You see, in Canada, we don't have America's puritanical roots, so pornographic films are as lauded as non-pornographic films. I also did a lot of Canadian adult work. Log Riders was great, Sticky Syrup, and of course, the Moose Knuckles trilogy.
Oh my God. Moose Knuckles 2 was a massive hit.
Oh yes, Moose Knuckles.
I have to stop this because I'm not sure what's going on here. These things are typically scripted by writers who give you your little sketch, your little bit you're going to do about an hour before you do it. But both of these two are really high level improvisational actors. And I'm trying to figure out, are they improv in this? Or I think they're improv in this.
Knuckles 2, Knuckles Deep, 1. Canada's most illustrious adult film award, actually.
Wait, you won the Beaver.
We won the Beaver. We swept the Beavers that year. It was a Beaver, multi-Beaver winning film, yes.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. My mother especially loves Knuckles Deep. Anyway, as we know, of course, there is no higher honor, though, than winning a Golden Globe. Absolutely not.
Celebrating Catherine O'Hara, who we were just all shocked to learn passed away today, reported now about 25 minutes ago by TMZ. The legendary comedic actress and American and Canadian icon, Catherine O'Hara, is dead at the age of 71. There is no, well, not that I've seen, cause of death. TMZ said that no cause of death was released. All right, so here's what the buildup is all for. This is my era Catherine O'Hara. This is where I first noticed her. This is where I first fell in love with her. This is where I first decided that she was the funniest female on the planet. We're going to watch a couple of minutes of Catherine O'Hara in her 20s. This is 20-something Catherine O'Hara when she broke out on Second City TV. John Candy, Eugene Levy, Harold Ramis, all these people. Rick Moranis, incredible. Martin Short, incredible cast of amazing comic treasures came out of Second City TV. But here, this is This is Catherine O'Hara, the best of Catherine O'Hara from Second City TV. Just let's enjoy this.
Howdy, farmers, and I call you farmers because who else be up this time of morning? I'm Big Jim McBob.
And I'm Billy Saw Hurock, and tonight on Farm Film Report, we got a real exciting show. Tell them about it, Big Jim.
Oh, yeah, we got a pretty actress on for you. Well, she's kind of pretty.
Yeah, kind of pretty.
Yeah, but not real pretty.
Not real pretty.
Her name is Brooke Shields.
Bring her on, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Brooke Shields. All right, you okay?
I'm okay.
You fell down.
I'm okay. I did it on purpose.
Oh, you hurt yourself?
I did it on purpose.
Oh.
It's funny.
Oh. Would you like to go into comedy, Brooke?
Mm-hmm. You're farmers, right?
Yeah, we're both farmers.
What did one strawberry say to the other strawberry?
I don't know, Billy Saul, do you know?
If you weren't so fresh last night, we wouldn't be in this jam.
Oh, that's a preserve joke. Yeah. Old. It's an old preserve joke. It's real old. Well, tell us, Brooke, we're big film fans, Billy Saul and myself, and we'd like to find out, do you think there's too much nudity in films?
Gee, I don't know.
Do you think people should blow up in films?
Gee, I don't know.
Well, Brooke, I understand you're going to sing a song for us. Yeah.
You're not going to blow me up, are you?
No. We're not going to blow her up.
Are you?
No.
Okay, because my mother distinctly said there will be no blowing up of Brooke.
Okay, so just for those of you who don't know, this is an ongoing sketch on Second City TV. It's the Farm Film Blow Up Report, where these two hillbillies, these two farmers, review films and then talk about farming. And then they have a celebrity guest on, and they always blow up the celebrity guest. They just do it's absurd, but it's funny. Okay.
No.
Okay, because my mother distinctly said there will be no blowing up of Brooke.
Well, we aren't going to blow you up. No.
I just came here to sing.
Oh, we're not going to blow you up. You sing your song.
Okay. You're not?
No.
Okay.
You all right?
Yeah.
you were just pretending.
Not that time, no. But I'm okay.
Real good. Yeah, I like that part a lot.
I'd like to see her blow up. I'll tell you. Well, now comes time for my favorite part of the show, and that's having our celebrity band on.
Yeah.
And you know, we've been getting a lot of letters, haven't we, Billy Saul?
Lots of letters. Real good letters, too.
Lots of letters saying, well, Big Jim and Billy Saul, do you just blow up people that you don't like? And the answer to that is no.
No, sirree, Bob.
No, sir. We blow up anybody, regardless of their race, creed, or talent.
All right.
Katharine Hepburn tells us about her first time.
Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Here, we got more, apparently. Sorry, we're just watching some Catherine O'Hara. That's all we're doing. All right, here she is as Catherine Hepburn. I know it's all pretty dated. You got to understand, these bits were done back in 1979, right? So it's a little dated, but
Katharine Hepburn tells us about her first time.
Oh, I won't say what year it was. That would be telling too much. I will say, though, that I've always believed that no matter my age, I'm young enough and old enough to do anything. It was in Baltimore, and I was playing a flapper in a production of The Cradle Snatchers, and there was this lovely old stagehand, a clean man, a good hard worker. We shared only friendly chit-chat till this day, and I didn't expect to have much in common with him, but I was intrigued, and it seemed somehow right to accept his offer. He suggested using the living room set right on the stage, but I feel the stage should be reserved for performing, and a performance was hardly what I had in mind. So we used my dressing room. I was a little shocked at myself. I mean, I should have been rehearsing my lines or doing something professional instead of simply enjoying myself with this silly old stage hand, but nevertheless, I believe when opportunity knocks, you've got to say, hell, how do I know I may not get another chance at this one? And here was this nice stranger offering me whatever he had, and, well, I didn't like it at first. Of course, I didn't dare tell him that it wasn't exactly what he promised. But then I decided to relax. You've got to allow yourself time to acquire a taste for the finer things in life. And soon I did. And to this day, at least once a day, I enjoy a good, strong, hot cup of Twillings tea. It's refreshing, revitalizing, and it tastes wonderful.
Twillings tea, every time, is as good as the first time.
It's one of the few real pleasures in life.
She pooped up, but her hair held up. With new Permalac Professional Style Hairspray. Permalac contains a unique, long-lasting holding ingredient that keeps every beautiful hair in place. So your hair will never lose that style that's so distinctively you. Lustrous, full body, and static-free. Permalac will make your hair feel and smell like it never felt or smelled before.
All right.
Permalac. Because your hair should be the least of your worries.
Hold on.
When was the last time you gave an old friend a long-distance call?
Oh, I guess Mary. All right, I'm sorry. Crazy show. Crazy show today. I didn't have time to put this. This all came out of left field today. You know, the whole signing on to the show, and the first thing that I see is that one of my favorite people in the history of liking people is dead. Shockingly, I'm gonna have to talk to my son this afternoon because we love her because he thinks she's hysterical too. Got him all into the cult of SCTV. Oh, man. We obviously can't do the entire show on this. I'm not prepared. There will probably be more on Monday that I'll share with you once I have time to look for things. At the end of today's show, we will... don't let me forget, chat room, okay? At the end of today's show, we'll go through the Death Trilogy. We'll find out where she fits in. I just don't have time to do that now. As a matter of fact, I know this is a little bit weird. I'm going to need to recoup here for a second. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. I'm going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're not going to have a short show today. We got a lot of stuff we got to get to. I feel a little blindsided here at the beginning. It wasn't the way I wanted to start the show. So let's do that, huh? Let's take a quick little break. Give me a second. I'm going to refresh my coffee. I'm going to go to the bathroom, and I'm probably just going to take a deep breath for a minute here. I'm not upset. People die. We all die. You know me. I'm not afraid of death, but it is, it kind of sucks. She's 71 years old. Catherine O'Hara. That's not old enough. That is not old enough. What happened? TMZ is not telling us anything about what happened. Well, not that they're not telling us. They don't know. I didn't mean to imply that they're not telling, no, they don't know. She wasn't sick, at least not to anybody's. It wasn't public if she was sick. I would absolutely know if she was sick. Anyway, find out what happened there. Might have just gone to sleep and not woken up. That's probably the best way to go, Isn't that probably the best way that you wish for people that you love to go? Just go to sleep and then don't wake up. And then that'll be that. All right, we'll take a quick break, okay? Let me just recoup here, and we'll come back. We'll start the show. We got a lot of stuff we got to talk about today. Don Lemon, Sugar Don Lemon got himself in some trouble. We got an Epstein dump. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. All right, we'll take a break. We got a full show. Give me a couple minutes. All right. Welcome back, everybody. Okay, we are back. Just went to the bathroom, got me another cup of coffee, and we're back. We're back with, we're going to do the show that I put together before I learned of the passing of Catherine O'Hara. Had a full show ready for you. We just found out that Catherine O'Hara passed away as we were signing on. So we did the first, hour or so, 45 minutes of the show about the legacy of the great Catherine O'Hara. Variety is reporting that she passed after a short illness that apparently recently diagnosed with something, and boom, she's gone. That's how it goes. We don't know what the short illness was, but that is what Variety is reporting, that she had a short illness. Yeah, thank you, Byron. Next time she dies, Byron's going to keep his mouth shut, and that's probably for the best. No, Byron, thank you. You reported it. That's what I need from my chat room. I need people who are going to, if something happens, I can't be paying. I don't have a TV in here. I used to have a TV that, I had on like breaking news and stuff like that. I don't have that. So I don't. I can't. I had a TV on my computer, but this computer doesn't allow me to watch my TV on my computer. We'll get that fixed. All right. Welcome to the Rant. As I say, we do this every day at noon. It is talk radio for normal people. We're not crazy left. We're not crazy right. We're just kind of in the middle, and we're angry at both sides, and we try and look at the world that way. And every day we get together around about noon, as I say, try to piece together what this puzzle of a world is that we're living in, and we do it together, and we've been doing it together every day for almost 5 years now. So thank you so much. To that end, we'd like to reward the title of executive producer of the show to the person who tips and takes care of us the day before, because this show doesn't have advertising. It doesn't have special interest backing. It's just you, me, against the world. So we ask you to tip. Drop a little something in the Venmo or in the Cash App. You can see that scrolling down there at the bottom all show long if you're ever so compelled that you feel you must support opposition talk, because that is truly what we are. We do the kind of talk that isn't supported by any of the major radio networks or any radio station in America that I know of. I don't carry water for one side or the other, and I can't be controlled. So here we are. So every day we ask for your tips, and the person who tips the biggest is the executive producer of the next day, and that is Joel. Happy Friday, everybody. Thank Joel for his contribution. And if you would like to follow Joel and be Monday's executive producer, just drop a little something, please, in either the Venmo or the Cash App, and we'll ensure that we keep doing this show for as long as is necessary. I got a big weekend this week. I'm going out tomorrow night. I got a big I'm going out. Hey, by the way, I don't know. Do I have any? I don't see any of my Chicago people in here. Let's see here. No, I don't see. I'm looking at the chat room. I'm just trying to see if there are any Chicago people in here. I don't see any. Anyway, to my Chicago people, come on out. Join me tomorrow night. We're going to be hanging out at Reggie's Rock Bar there on State Street. Reggie's Rock Bar, cool place right there on State Street in Chicago, downtown. Not downtown. Where is Reggie's? It's not downtown. It's near south, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, here's what's going on this weekend in Chicago. Anyway, it's Sox Fest. Oh yeah, I don't really Sox Fest. Sox Fest is it's the annual convention of White Sox fans that happens in Chicago. I don't know. Do most cities have it? I don't know. Do the Rangers hold a Rangers Fest? Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, it's Sox Fest weekend. And my boys, I've told you about them before. The guys from the 108. They are local Chicago digital content creators. I just admire the hell out of them because they're funny, they're talented, and man, do they know what they're doing. They have cornered the market on White Sox fandom in this city, and they are pretty much ground zero for anything White Sox related. So they're doing a big Sox Fest after party at Reggie's Rock Bar on Saturday night. And they've asked me if I wanted to come by and hang out. And you don't have to ask me twice. This is why I'm in Chicago. I'm trying to hang out with other content creators. The people that I knew down in Dallas, they're all nice people, and they would all tell you that they're friends of mine, but I don't know. They don't collaborate. Nobody wants to do anything down here, taking advantage of this. So me and Big Ed, the Grand Poobah, RadioMisfits.com, Ed, we're going to go to Reggie's Rock Bar tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on State Street. So if you are one of our Chicago listeners, come join us. Come join us. Yeah, the 108 party. April knows. Yeah. These guys are so great. They're so funny. And at some point, if I figure out a way, maybe roll them into this daily thing, man. I'm telling you, they got hot takes. They're staying in their sports lane right now, but they are funny dudes. Adam, yeah, Adam's talking about, I guess, what's it called? Ranger Fest? Ranger Convention? He says, we do it, but it got canceled this year. Rangers have Rangers Fan Fest. Was supposed to be on this past Saturday. Why did it get canceled? You guys just won the World Series 2 years ago. What are you canceling your fan? It's another. I'm telling you. I never understood this about Texas. Half of Major League Baseball that doesn't come from the Dominican Republic comes from Texas and California. That's the other half. It's all kids from Texas and California that are in Major League Baseball. The white ones, they're all from Texas or California. Every single damn one of them. Unless they're from the Dominican Republic. So why is it that Texas doesn't give a fuck about baseball? They really don't. They really don't. I've had this argument with Adam before. The Rangers won a goddamn World Series. And it's like, people are like, yeah, well, what is that, soccer? Texas is too football centric. It's all about football. The Rangers are. 2 years ago, they won the World Series and they're canceling their fan fest? You win a World Series, you should be sold out for your fan fest for the next decade. What? It's weird. And I like the Rangers. They're a cool organization. Well, at least from my perspective. I don't live and breathe and die and all that with the Rangers. So maybe if I did, I wouldn't think they're a cool organization. Maybe I think they're like the White Sox, an absolute trash fire of an organization. I don't know. Florida, too. Yeah, you're right. Florida, Texas, California, and Florida represents everybody white in Major League Baseball. That's pretty much it. But I would just think that like Major League Baseball would be a bigger thing in Texas because baseball itself comes from Texas these days, is my point. All right. Adam also goes on to say lots of players there, though that is because of those academies. Florida. He's talking about Florida. A lot of academies down there. All right, here's what we're going to get into today. We got a bunch of stuff. We're going to watch some videos. We're going to do stuff we normally do. I found a bunch of fun stuff. We're also going to talk about the big breaking news, the headlines. Right now, of course, the big headline for me anyway in my world, Catherine O'Hara is dead at 71 years old. That's not good. The other big headline, although it's not as much of a headline right now as it was just before we signed on. When we were about to sign on here about an hour ago, the Dow Jones was absolutely tanking. It was down 500 points, and it was looking like there was no relief in sight. It has rallied in the last hour. The Dow Jones is currently only down about 250 points, so that's something. It's better than the 500 that it was down just about an hour ago. All right, the Dow Jones not looking good. 226 now, just 226 is what the Dow Jones is at. All right, so there's that. We don't do a lot of business stuff here because I'm a financial bubblehead. So, you don't want to take any advice from me, and you certainly don't want to hear any reporting from me because I don't even know how to pronounce most of the words that are business words. Don Lemon, we're going to talk about him. He was arrested along with another journalist named Georgia Fort. Georgia Fort's getting no fucking attention for this. It's all about Don Lemon, Sugar Don Lemon. So we'll talk about that. I've been telling you this for a couple of weeks now. They're coming for people. They're coming for people who are critics of this administration. And that kind of fits me, right? That's kind of what I have been. Don't know that they're going to come for me because I'm so insignificant that why, right? Don Lemon is a name. Don Lemon is a profile. You might think that in these times that might indemnify him from fascist tactics, but no, it also gets headlines and shows other people shut up. If we're willing to arrest Don Lemon, who's a nationally famous journalist, imagine what we'll do to you, Pugs Moran, every day at noon with your 15 fucking listeners. We'll throw you in the gulag. I'm telling you, I'm not trying to be all, black helicopters are following me, man, because they don't like what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be all that. I'm just saying we are in weird times, man. We are through the looking glass, and who knows what critics of the current regime might face if any of this shit goes unchecked for much longer. So we'll talk about that. Now, obviously, you can see I have some feelings about the arrest of journalists. He's not a journalist. Well, okay, let's talk about that. We'll get into it. We've also got big breaking news concerning the Department of Justice and their civil rights investigation into Alex Preddy. We'll cover that. There's an Epstein dump going on. I believe that the Epstein dump that is going on today is in direct relation to the arrest of Don Lemon. What do you mean, Pugs? How can they be related? Well, you arrest a journalist, you must prepare for all kinds of backlash. So how will you stop all of that backlash from occupying the news cycle? Well, you do an Epstein dump, and then everybody talks about the pictures. Look, more pictures of Clinton in a sauna, and nobody's talking about how the regime is arresting journalists. That's what I think is going on, so we'll cover that as well. It was an unexpected Epstein dump. We weren't expecting this. We certainly weren't expecting Don Lemon to be arrested, but he was arrested, and then they dumped Epstein files, and guess what the news media is going to cover? Well, Don Lemon. If they're covering Don Lemon more, which is probably not what they had figured, but people are more interested, the regular people. I think the average guy gives a fuck that Don Lemon's having the worst day of his life? No. The average dude wants to see some more pictures of Clinton in a hot tub with people with blurry faces. That's what we want. So that's what we're all going to be occupied in. Millions of documents were dumped today. So they're going to go through it, and that's all that we're going to see. So it's not about actual news. It's not about actually informing us. It's not about actually keeping us up to speed on what's happening around us. No, it's about, hey, look at this shiny thing. Will you watch this through a Carnival Cruise Line commercial? Because on the other side of the commercial, we're going to show you more shiny things. That's media. That's what we've created. That is the corporate industrial media. Ghislaine Maxwell also, I had this story prepared before we had the Epstein dump. There is significant information or news about the Epstein situation, not only the Epstein dump, but Ghislaine Maxwell says that she's got names to drop. So let's get into that story. Yeah, she has filed. She is really feeling herself down there at that minimum security women's prison in Bryan, Texas, that the global sex trafficker is going to ride out her life sentence. Is she there for life? She's going to get out. She's going to get out. She's going to get out. I got names. Well, that means she's going to be released. She said, I'm going to start saying names. Well, she'll be walking the streets in no time. As long as she's got that in her back pocket. So we'll talk about that story as well. Trump is suing everybody. He's suing America. He's suing the IRS. He's suing. What the fuck is the president of the United States doing? It's just such a bad look. $10 billion. We'll talk about that story. We've also got a bunch of ICE video that we're going to see. Yeah, it's not like they're acting better now. It's not like they're suddenly minding their P's and Q's. We'll do some of that. We'll also look at some video of Bovino that surfaced that is pretty shocking. Bovino's been sidelined because he's an asshole. Is Bovino like, does Trump do this? Does he just go full extreme first to see how far he could push it? And then when people naturally react to the over-aggressive and extreme first move, does he then dial it back and figure out where the I don't know. But that's what Bovino was. Bovino was the extreme beginning. Got some video of him that's really upsetting. It's upsetting to me because it is exactly what I've been saying is the problem with this operation. So we'll watch that as well. We've got the Melania premiere. We've got Trump is now threatening Springsteen because of the song. We're going to read Trump's Truth Social post. I'll show it to you too. He goes after Springsteen. It's pretty great. Also, Luigi Mangioni's in the news. Luigi Mangione, jailbreak. Yeah, somebody tried to break out Luigi Mangione. We'll talk to that. We'll talk about that and a whole bunch of other things. We got Sydney Sweeney's in the news. Lindsey Graham's being accosted by dudes just going, hey, why don't you come out of the closet? So let's see how Lindsey reacts to that. Yeah, that's it. We got a lot of stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I skipped over a bunch of stuff. So let's get into it. Let's start from the very beginning. Here we go. The big top story today is Don Lemon, the former CNN. I don't even know what he is. Look, I have been pretty above board and consistent about my feelings regarding Don Lemon. I don't like Don Lemon. Don Lemon is terrible. He is not a good journalist. He is not in it for journal. Like, there are people who go, well, I'm going to say this and a whole bunch of you are going to roll your eyes, but you know what? Fuck you. There are a whole bunch of people who go into journalism simply because they want to find truth. That really is the driving nature of the 18, 19-year-old journalism student. Now, I don't know. Do they get corrupted as they matriculate through the modern American journalism hierarchy before they finally get themselves into a seat at CNN or Fox News or MSNBC? Probably. I don't know. Life corrupts. Life is corrupting. But people who start out, they start out with the best of intentions. And I know because I did. This is exactly I did. I didn't get into, I didn't go to journalism school, Columbia here, just because I wanted to be on TV. No, I was like, ooh, I want to tell people things they don't know. I want to uncover the truth. You know, that's the drive. That I don't believe was ever Don Lemon's drive. I've told you about Don Lemon and what my feeling is. And when I've learned a little bit about him too, this isn't just me supposing. A lot of this is true. Don Lemon was a theater kid. Don Lemon was an actor. He was in plays. He was a song and dance man at 10 years old. He was that kid. High school drama club and all of that stuff. And, you know, he didn't follow that path out to Hollywood. He ended up as a journalist wearing a suit. I do not believe that Don Lemon ever wanted to be a journalist. I don't think that Don Lemon has the slightest interest in being a legitimate. He doesn't want a Pulitzer Prize. He wants an Oscar, an Emmy, or a Golden Globe. Those are Don Lemon's dreams. Don Lemon is a theater kid who couldn't get on movie screens or your TV screens as an actor, so he decided he would create a character who would be a news guy. He would be the young, handsome, good suit black man that America was ready for in 1995, or whenever the hell it is that he emerged. That's what he did. He was playing a role. He's not a real journalist. Never has been. And as soon as they took the journalistic restraints off him on CNN and allowed him to be more of a performative opinion guy, that's when he went off the rails. That's when we saw what he was. He doesn't know the first thing about journalism, how to be responsible or how to cover shit. He's an opinion guy who wants to be famous, and that's who Don Lemon is. Okay. That's it. That's who he is. He's not a great journalist. That said, he is a journalist. That said, he is, in fact, a journalist. It's what he's done all of these years. Don Lemon was arrested in California last night, Southern California. This is, of course, in relation to a stunt that he was involved in. I call it a stunt. Stunt that he was involved in last weekend. Was it last weekend at a church there in Minneapolis, St. Paul area? The church, the pastor of the church also happens to be an ICE guy, like an ICE. I don't know what he is. The pastor of the church, he also works for ICE or Border or whatever. So they targeted this church. When I say they, I mean a group of protesters. They targeted this church. And Don Lemon somehow, in cahoots, I don't know, hey, can I tag along? I don't know if he was there for the planning of it, right? So this is kind of all going to come out when we find out what these charges are. Don Lemon was there as a reporter, live streaming the protest and the confrontation of the pastor. Don Lemon himself interviewed the pastor, as a journalist might do, covering this situation. They took it to 3 judges. The Department of Justice took this to 3 judges, and all 3 judges said no. They will not grant an arrest warrant for Don Lemon for what the Department of Justice is saying he needs to be arrested for. So 3 judges said no. So the next step was, on Tuesday, they took it to a grand jury. They convened a grand jury, and the grand jury came back with an indictment. 3 judges said this is highly unconstitutional. A collection of fucking idiots, they said, let's indict them. Now, what do we know about indictments? We know that What's the old adage? You can indict a ham sandwich. I mean, indictments are easy to get because the people who are doing the indictment don't know the fucking law. So it is interesting that 3 judges who were presented with this case said, no, this is unconstitutional to arrest him. So they went to a grand jury, and the grand jury indicted him. Along with him, a second journalist was arrested. Her name is Georgia Fort. Georgia Fort is not only an independent journalist, but she is the president of the Minnesota Journalist something of something. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, it's some organization, like a major journalism organization. So she is, in fact, a real journalist. And look, as is Don Lemon, even though I do think he's a bit of a showman, if you know what I mean. Here you go. This is Georgia Fort's home. She was actually live streaming when the FBI showed up to arrest her. She was arrested in relation to the same thing that Don Lemon was arrested. Here we go. Georgia Fort's home.
Yes. Okay.
Look at that shit. Look at that shit. That's a fucking masked Fed on your doorstep looking in your window. You're a journalist. You're not a rapist. You're not a kiddie porn dealer.
Really scary.
You're a fucking journalist, and you've got a masked Fed on your fucking porch peering in your window.
There's kids in the house. You guys have not been really friendly in the community. And to me, this seems a little, can I finish, sir? Can I finish?
I don't know if she's talking on the phone. I assume she is because we're not hearing the other side of it. But maybe she's speaking on the phone to somebody outside.
Can I finish? Get your phone. This seems a little bit aggressive to have all these cars in our cul-de-sac, 2, 3 agents, and now I saw the one disappear to the back. So to me, this is a little aggressive to just serve a warrant. Slide the warrant. Let me see the warrant. Okay. And that, to me, what I have been told, is not a judicial warrant that has me to have to open the door for you.
All right, well, that's where we are. So that we didn't get to see old Don Lemon. Sugar Don wasn't live streaming. I bet he wish he was, but he wasn't live streaming when he was arrested. But that is the other person arrested, the other journalist, Georgia Fort. National Association of Broadcast Journalists. She is the Minnesota chapter president of the NABJ, which is it's the journalism organization, the National Organization of Broadcast Journalists chapter in Minnesota. She was arrested. Do we have these notes? 2 judges have already charged. They went to a grand jury. Okay. All right, so we've got it all. Don, well, actually, maybe I should just tell you this. Well, let me just give you the details before I start waxing poetic, huh? All right, Don Lemon, here we go. How is Fox News reporting it? Let's go from the Fox News story. Why not? Former CNN host retained it's his big attorney, Abby David Lowell, big attorney, who calls charges against Lemon an unprecedented attack on the First Amendment.
Thanks for being with us here today. Let's talk about what we saw take place in that church in St. Paul.
Hold on. Got to turn that down. Former CNN host Don Lemon retained a high-priced attorney familiar with defending clients against the Trump administration following his arrest related to his involvement in a protest at a St. Paul, Minnesota church. Lemon is being represented by Abby Lowell, an attorney who is well known for taking on cases where a prominent political figure needs legal help. Most notably, he was Hunter Biden's attorney. Biden, the surviving son of former President Joe Biden, is Lowell's most visible recent client. The younger Biden, I don't fucking care about Hunter Biden. I never did. That's why you've never heard me say his name before. After Lemon was arrested in Los Angeles, where he was preparing to cover an awards show for his podcast. Yeah. A big major breaking news going on in the world, and he's out there. He wants to cover the fucking Grammys, or what is it? He wants to hang out with the celebrity. He's not a real journalist, man. He's not a real journalist. He just wants to be famous. Abby Lowell slammed the Justice Department for pursuing Lemon instead of federal immigration agents involved in law enforcement shootings of alleged agitators, Renee Good and Alex Preddy. This unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from the many crises facing this administration will not stand. Don will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court. Amid a countersuit, no, we don't care more Biden stuff. We don't care about the fucking Biden stuff. I don't care. I want to know more details, and they don't have more details. So, all right. So here's what's going to happen with this. Legally, nothing. Nothing is going to happen with this legally. This is a show story. Neither of these two people, they are absolutely 100% protected by the First Amendment. What they did was not illegal. You might be able to bring charges against some of the people who were there as protesters, because there is a law that says you cannot interfere. This is a civil rights issue now. You cannot interfere with people practicing their faith. That's illegal in this country. Did you know that? It is. So you do have a charge there against the protesters who stormed into the church during services, but you can't charge the journalist. I'm sorry, you just can't. We don't do that in this country. You can't charge the people who are documenting what is happening. It's just not the way we do it. Trump is being punitive. Trump is trying to make a statement that if you criticize me, this could happen to you. But here's what's really going to happen for Don Lemon. Nothing is going to happen with this case. And Don Lemon's career is gonna skyrocket. Oh my God, this is the best thing that could ever happen to Don Lemon. He is gonna explode. Nobody gives a fuck about his stupid podcast. He's been doing it for a year. He's not gonna hire anybody. Nobody likes Don Lemon. He's out there causing trouble. No, he's not interesting. He's just blah. He's gonna have the biggest podcast. Whatever he does next, whatever his next upload is gonna be 10 times bigger than anything he's ever done. And that's going to grow his content. And now Don Lemon, even people who, let's be honest about people who know who Don Lemon is. Trump people on the right know who Don Lemon is because, and this is what I say all the time, they're so good at this. They have branded him. They have talked about him. He has been deemed an enemy. Don Lemon is an enemy. My mom is a normal person. If I were to go up to my mom and say, do you know who Don Lemon is? She might go, that name sounds familiar. Nobody normal really knows or thinks Don Lemon is a big star. Don Lemon is a guy who was on CNN. He's no different than Jim Acosta, another name that the right knows really well that nobody else gives a fuck about. But so anyway, Don Lemon is now going to break through into areas that he never has before. People that don't even know who he is. He was a minor CNN guy who angered Trump, so Trump elevated his place. And now Don Lemon's a superstar. A superstar. A martyr for the fucking First Amendment. That's what Trump has made Don Lemon. And everybody in media, even the people who know what he is. There's a lot of people in media who know what Don Lemon is. He's a theater kid who couldn't get cast in plays because he doesn't have any dramatic talent, but he wants to be on TV and he wants to be famous. And hey, people on TV are famous. He can read a teleprompter. He's good. And he looks great in a suit. And he's got a little sizzle because he likes to perform. Right? That's who Don Lemon is. Not anymore. Don Lemon has been elevated to First Amendment martyr status. Even though nothing is going to happen to him, he is going to ride this shit into millions of dollars. Millions and millions of dollars. See, but that wouldn't happen for me because, again, I got like 15 listeners here every day. Right? I get arrested. They throw me in a gulag, and you guys go, what happened to that stream I used to see on Facebook? Where'd that guy go? I end up in some El Salvadorian work camp. All right, so this should be frightening to a lot of people. This should be frightening to everybody. This is a line that has now been crossed where a journalist has been arrested. If Trump had his way, Don Lemon would be disappeared, right? He'd be somewhere down in the bowels of the Department of Justice or the Pentagon or some black site somewhere. They'd be torturing him. This is crazy. I mean, this is really crazy that they are trumping up, quite literally, trumping up charges against a journalist for simply, no, he was there as a protest. No, he wasn't. I know it kills you. And I might be with you. I'd be like, yeah, no, I think he was involved. I think he was like, I think he was like, hey, if you protesters want to do this, I'll cover it. But it doesn't matter. That indemnifies them behind the First Amendment. None of that shit matters. The protesters are the ones who were there in the role of protesters, and Don Lemon was just with them in the role of a journalist, a role that is protected and codified 1,000,000 times over by the First Amendment. Again, 3 judges said, this is not, you can't know. This is a First Amendment violation. 3 fucking judges, but a grand jury that will, of course, indict a ham sandwich. They gave Trump what he wanted. So we'll see. Developing ... Also breaking today, the Department of Justice has announced a civil rights investigation into the Alex Preddy shooting. Well, that sentence sounds good. That sentence sounds like something. Well, all right, it looks like they're taking this seriously. Okay, very good. The scope of the civil rights investigation into the shooting of Alex Preddy will focus on the events of the hours and weeks leading up to Alex Preddy being shot. It will focus on the events of Alex Preddy, not the guys who shot him. They're doing a civil rights investigation. That's the banner that they're a civil rights investigation. And they are stating that their civil rights investigation into the events that occurred last Saturday on the streets of Minnesota that ended with Alex Preddy being shot dead by federal officers. The civil rights investigation into that is going to focus on what Alex Preddy was doing 2 weeks before he was killed. And I bet that's because of the video. I bet that's because of the video of him kicking. That's not a civil rights investigation. That's looking for a way to justify the murder of a citizen. That's what they're doing. They're looking, nothing will justify it. Nothing. You have to take the incident where he ended up dead in a vacuum. You can't go look at that video from 11 days. Was it 11 days, 12 days ago now, 13 days, whatever. You can't look at that video and go, well, this video from 2 weeks before explains why this cop lost his shit and put a bullet in this guy's head. No, that's not how it works. Those are 2 separate incidents. Does it mean that Alex Preddy was a regular with the whole defending the neighborhood thing? Yeah, it does. Does it show that he was a little bit more involved previously than he was on the day he was shot? Absolutely. But he wasn't doing any of that shit that we saw in the first video on the day that he was shot. And that's what you have to judge this on. Those cops weren't the same cops. And by the way, can we talk about the cops in the first video? Everybody wants to focus on him kicking out the light. You are missing the trees through the forest. No, you are missing the forest through the trees. I don't know, however that saying goes. People who are going, but he kicked out a tail light. Okay. And what's your problem with that? You kicked out it's a federal vehicle. You can't just kick out a tail light on a federal. Okay. All right. No, you're right. That's a crime. You walk up to a police car, you walk up to a law enforcement vehicle, and you kick in the taillight in front of those cops. What's going to happen to you? You're going to get arrested. You're going to get taken down, put in the handcuffs, and you're going to get arrested. Now, all the people that are upset about him kicking out a fucking taillight on a police car, they'll say, are forgetting that the other people, their argument is, that's not a fucking police car. That is a fucking fascist vehicle that is coming into our neighborhood from the federal government to tell us to behave. That is what that is. So the other side doesn't see that as a police car. And you might be, well, they can see it that way, but technically they are federal law enforcement. Oh, are they? because they sure as fuck didn't behave like cops after he kicked in the taillight. He kicked in the taillight, they got out of the truck, they tuned him up, beat the fuck out of him, and then left. That is not how police work. He should have been arrested. Why wasn't he arrested during that thing? Because they're not behaving as cops, which is why he's not afraid to kick the fucking taillight out of a car that isn't a cop car. Because they're not behaving like cops. They jumped out of the car and they beat the fuck out of him. Or tried. Throwing him around, a whole bunch of guys. Didn't end up dead this time. The next time he would. But those weren't the same cops. So it's not like they were like, oh, that's the guy that got away last time. And by the way, he didn't get away last time. They just threw a few punches into his face and then left. That's not how cops behave. If he walked up and kicked the tail light of a legitimate law enforcement vehicle after they got him to the ground, which they did in the video, they'd have put him in cuffs, put him in the car, and booked him. They didn't do that because they're not real fucking cops. So shut your mouth. Let's see here. We got what else do we got here? All right, so they're gonna look in. So they're gonna do a civil rights investigation into what he was doing. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like civil rights investigation would be. Look at the video. What was he fucking murdered? And again, we're now almost a week into it. From the very first moment, I said, why did the guy take the gun, fire the gun? The guy who took the gun from Alex Preddy, sorry, we just had that thing where, there we go. All right, here we are. All right. Guys, how's this sound? We just had that thing that happens here on the show. The computer just acts weird and the camera goes off and all that. How is the sound? Is it because I had to reset everything? Is the sound coming through the microphone or is it coming through the computer? You let me know in the chat room. In 30 minutes, however long the delay is here. All right, while we're doing this, let's see how the Dow is doing. Let's see if we are regaining some traction. No, it's just still the same. It's 225. 225. Down 225, the Dow Jones. All right, thank you, Barney. Appreciate you. All right, so after Don Lemon was rounded up this morning, surprising to everybody, there was an Epstein dump that we all got. It's a Friday Epstein dump. It's a nice little thing to occupy us now. They gave us millions of new documents and we'll all be going through them. And again, we'll be looking at pictures of fat Bill Clinton floating on an indoor swimming pool in some creepy billionaire's house. Be looking at that. It'll just occupy. We'll just be going through all this and somebody will find something and they'll go on TV and they'll go, ooh, look what I found. And then we'll talk about that for an hour and it won't mean anything. It'll just be salacious. But we won't be talking about how Trump is rounding up journalists. See how that works? He knows. He is fucking so good at this. He is now using the Epstein case. Remember, everything was supposed to be a distraction to get us to stop asking about the Epstein case. So there was nothing Epstein for a while. There was all this other nonsense going on. Iran, Maduro, Minneapolis, troops, all of these things for us to talk about instead of the Epstein files. And then he arrests a journalist. And then to get us to not think about him arresting a journalist, he gives us some Epstein files. He is a master at this. He is so fucking good at this. He is so good at being duplicitous. That's a skill. I don't know if it's a good one. All right, here's what we got. Apparently, we've already got the first big piece of distraction from the Epstein files. Apparently, there's a humiliating bombshell email between Prince Andrew, and one of the Epstein girls. You better believe it. All right, we'll kick on that. I don't care about the overall story. Let's look at this. Let's see what this is. This was just posted. Epstein files live. Bombshell new email between Andrew and Epstein about a beautiful girl. See? Trump, these are the ones he's putting out there. Trump knows that Andrew's already cooked, so we'll give him some red meat. We'll give him some red meat to some people we already know is a pedophile. He's already been run through the ringer there in England. He's not even a royal anymore. So now we're going to learn more about him. How about give me something on, the guy who runs General Dynamics or McDonnell Douglas or one of these big fucking unnamed billionaire puppet masters that hung out with Epstein. How about those guys? That's who we want to know about. We don't need more shit on Andrew. This is not protein. This is fucking sugar. These are M&Ms. Andrew invited Epstein to Buckingham Palace and promised lots of privacy. All right, let's see what this is. Andrew, we can't call him Prince Andrew anymore, and that's sad. They're just calling him Andrew. I love it. The humiliation never ends for these high-profile pedophiles. Andrew emailed Jeffrey Epstein about a beautiful girl and invited the pedophile to Buckingham Palace. Newly released files claim. The Department of Justice has released millions of pages and thousands of videos from... Oh, it's going to keep us busy. Oh, it's going to really keep us busy. And they've had weeks to put this package together. Like the Department of Justice has a bunch of drops of Epstein shit. And none of it concerns Trump, and none of it concerns any of his friends. But they have it, and it's ready, so that whenever Trump needs a distraction, now they'll just drop more Epstein stuff. We'll find out what sexual positions Prince Andrew preferred. In one exchange, Epstein appears to have told Andrew that he had a friend who I think you might enjoy having dinner with, and disclosed the dates she would be in London. He said she's 26, Russian, beautiful, trustworthy, and yes, she has your email. Is this the distraction? This is nothing. These are two rich, well-connected guys talking about Russian whores they're trading. Fully grown women. Melania, on the day that Melania opens, this is the kind of story that we have to chew on. Andrew emailed Jeffrey Epstein about a beautiful girl and invited the pedophile to Buckingham Palace. The Department of Justice has released millions of pages and thousands of videos from the Epstein files today. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Not even their real name. You know about that? But Windsor, that's not what is the royal family's last name? Officially, it's Windsor. The Windsors, Charles Windsor, King of England. Windsor ain't their name. Windsor is the name of a castle that's in England that they liked. It was like their favorite castle of all the castles that they own. And then I don't know if it was World War I or World War II. I think it was World War I when, the whole world went to war with Germany and they had to get rid of their German last name. The English royal family, they're not even English. They are German. Hohenzollern or something, I think. One of those. Habsburgs. That's like their real last name. And then when the Kaiser rose up, who was their cousin, they were like, yeah, we got to change our name. So they just made up this name. Windsor. They took it from a castle that they liked because the British people wouldn't like that their, king and queen have a German last name when they're at war with German. Anyway, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, who has vehemently denied any wrongdoing following his long friendships with Jeffrey Epstein, has been mentioned several times in the new dump. In one exchange, Epstein appears to have told Andrew he has a friend who I think you might enjoy having dinner with, and disclosed the dates that she would be in London. Again, this is the 26-year-old Russian girl. 26. She's 26. Come on. This is not Epstein dump worthy. Says she's beautiful, trustworthy, and yes, she has your email. The email shows that Andrew invited Epstein to Buckingham Palace and promised lots of privacy. Files are sweeping, and being mentioned in them does not indicate wrongdoing. Okay, fine, you have to put that in there. There is no wrongdoing in what we just heard. It's two rich guys who have super hot chicks at their disposal 24/7. The problem isn't rich guys trading super hot chicks. The problem is rich guys trading underage girls. And this is not an underage girl situation, so fuck it. Ooh, but Prince Andrew was named again. What, in the Epstein files? Yeah. When they were friends. We know that they're friends. Yeah. So what, are they talking about underage girls? No. What are they just talking about? Regular girls? A Russian girl. Is she underage? No. See, there's nothing here. There's nothing here in this story. Anyway, let's listen. Let's read here about the actual dump that happened. The Department of Justice has announced that more Epstein files will be released today, Friday. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche told reporters at a Justice Department briefing that the material being made public today exceeds 3 million pages and includes roughly 2,000 videos and 180,000 images. Let's see. All right, so there's got no details here. There you go. The first thing we have is that Andrew and Epstein were talking about a totally legal woman. Not a story. I'll tell you what the story is. The story that I was prepared to talk about today concerning the Epstein files is what Ghislaine Maxwell is saying. Yesterday, her lawyers filed new briefs. And isn't that interesting that today would be the day we would talk about this story, but we can't talk about this story because we got Don Lemon and we've got, oh my God, look at that, another Epstein dump. So we're not talking about this story. Ghislaine Maxwell is, of course, the longtime companion of Jeffrey Epstein. We don't know what she is. She a girlfriend, boyfriend, I don't know. She certainly was involved in the curation of young women. She seemed to be the woman, the older woman that these young, scared girls would turn to in their moments of crisis. And, you know, Ghislaine would then send them to Jeffrey. Go fuck him. Go give that creepy guy a massage. Barney's like Mountbatten. Yeah, Lord Mountbatten. We got him. We got Lord Mountbatten. Yeah. He's questioning like the hyphenated last name in the royal family. It's Mountbatten Windsor. Mountbatten, I think, is a traditional English name that is legitimately in their family, so they use that. But the people who are royals are not directly Mountbattens. Lord Mountbatten was was he like first cousin to the Queen or something? Anyway, he was a very, very important dude in England in like the 1940s, 50s, 60s. And then we got him. We got him in the 70s. What do I mean by that? The IRA. We took him out. We murdered Mountbatten. We murdered Lord Mountbatten. We blew up his boat. He was out on a yacht in his home in Ireland. He had a home in Ireland. He was like the dude most in charge of like, you know, fucking up Ireland. So the IRA, they blew him up. Anyway, that's the story of Mountbatten. Lord Mountbatten. We got him. Yeah, Barney knows. Barney, this is it. It's Saxe-Coburg. Saxe-Coburg-Gotha is the real German name of the German family that rules over England. They're not even English. So here's the story that we were supposed to be talking about today. Ghislaine Maxwell and her attorneys, they have filed new briefs in court. They're looking for a new hearing. She is upset. We've heard this before. You remember back in 2000 and I think it was 2007, Epstein was in the barrel. They had Epstein. Remember down in Florida? They were going to take him down. And then he got some kind of a weird deal. He got like a real sweetheart deal. And in this sweetheart deal negotiated by Epstein, his lawyers, and the Florida prosecutors at the time, they agreed that 29 other people who were listed as co-conspirators in this child sex operation, 29 other people, okay, many of whom are Mar-a-Lago members. Yeah, there was a whole cult of these guys that were Mar-a-Lago members. 29 other people. 29 people, when Epstein made his deal, got immunity. Epstein said, well, that's fine. I'll tell you about what we were doing, and you can charge me what little thing you're going to charge me with here because I'm a billionaire and I can pay my way out of fucking kids. But my 29 friends, who you also seem to have all kinds of information on in their role, you're going to have to leave them alone. And the Florida prosecutor said, okay. So Epstein got his slap on the wrist, and 29 other co-conspirators were basically absolved of any of these crimes. Ghislaine Maxwell believes that she is one of those 29 co-conspirators, and thus her conviction was unlawful because she was granted immunity in the original deal that was made with Epstein. And she's pissed about it now. Now, I don't know why she's pissed. This might be the last thing that she's got in her pocket, because if you remember, she was convicted on multiple counts of essentially global sex trafficking. She was sent to a maximum security prison, the kind of place that we put people who do that to children. And she was sentenced for a very long time. And then Trump got involved. Then Trump decided that he needed to do, and remember this? It was like, we'll release the Epstein files. Let's hear from Ghislaine. Why can't Ghislaine be called in front of Congress? We want to hear from her. Let her talk. And then Trump realized that that was a possibility. So he sent Todd Blanche, the assistant attorney general. They sent Todd Blanche to her maximum security prison to investigate. That was the reason. We can't let Ghislaine just get in front of Congress and talk. We have to do an investigation first, to which every normal person went, you convicted her. You didn't do an investigation before you fucking convicted her? Now you need to do an investigation? So do you remember Todd Blanche then went to the maximum security prison? He sat down with Ghislaine Maxwell, and he came out with a letter with Ghislaine saying Donald Trump had absolutely nothing to do with any of this. That was it. That was the big takeaway from the meeting, the investigation. She signed something that said Donald Trump had nothing to do with any of this. So, of course, Todd Blanche left that meeting, ran up to Trump, gave him that little note, and Trump went on TV and said, I did nothing. See, Ghislaine Maxwell says I did nothing. Completely unrelated, a couple of days later, Ghislaine Maxwell was moved from her maximum security prison, where one might expect to find a global sex trafficker, and placed into Bryan, Texas, a female-only minimum security prison. That's where she is. Tennis courts, swim lessons, TVs in her cell. Private cells. She's got her own cell. Actually, that's not true. The original was a private cell. Now she's living in a dormitory with like a bunch of other girls. Isn't that fun? I mean, you're following the dots here, right? I mean, Todd Blanche goes, he does an investigation. She says Trump did nothing. All of a sudden, it's quid pro quo, guys. I mean, the problem is that there is so much of this stuff. They're doing it right out in the open, that there's so much of this stuff that they are flooding the zone. I always say this, they flood the zone with shit that should have anybody. If anybody else did one of these things, they're fucking rung up and they're gone. But he does 40 of these things. So you're like, where do we fucking start? It's like me being told I need to clean my room at 15, where I just stand in my room and go, where do I even start? So anyway, Ghislaine Maxwell, she's probably enjoying life down there, but she does have those 29 names in her back pocket. And she is now saying that if she doesn't get a new trial, a trial that will actually look into whether or not she was included in those 29 names that were absolved of any wrongdoing in the Jeffrey Epstein investigation in Florida. And if she is, in fact, one of those names, then she must be let out of prison right now. And I promise you that's probably going to happen. This was probably the plan the whole time. She keeps her mouth shut. We're going to get you out of prison. You just need to, I'll tell you what, in the meantime, we're going to move you to a minimum security. We're going to ease you back. And before we know it, a judge in Florida is going to go, well, this is true. She had an immunity deal. And Trump's going to go, well, terrible things, the way the justice system works. I wish her well. He wishes her well. Every fucking time he talks about Ghislaine Maxwell, he wishes her well. Why? Because he knows she has names. He knows that she knows everything. I wish her well. They're going to let Ghislaine Maxwell out right in front of your fucking faces, and there ain't nothing that you can do about it. You better watch. Stunning Epstein twist as Ghislaine Maxwell claims 29 friends cut secret deal with the Department of Justice. And she's now looking to name names. She's a fucking snake. She's like, obviously she's not afraid of them moving her back. Apparently this is the big ace that she's got in her pocket. And nobody is talking about this story that broke last night because there was an Epstein dump. And we learned that Prince Andrew was trying to hook up with a totally legal Russian chick. We're all going to talk about that now. We're not going to talk about what Ghislaine is doing. Ghislaine Maxwell is claiming that 29 friends of Jeffrey Epstein were shielded through secret settlements by the Justice Department and that she may be among those names. The disgraced socialite filed a habeas corpus petition on December 17th. Okay, so this is a couple weeks ago, seeking to overturn her conviction, arguing that prosecutors cut deals with Epstein's associates while prosecuting her as if no such previous agreements existed. She's got a fucking case. That is a real case. If she has been granted immunity in this secret list of 29 people, and then a couple of years later, they turn around and they try her, and when she says, but wait, I was given immunity, and they go, yeah, those are sealed, we can't look into it. If we're looking into it now, she might be let go. And this may have been the plan the whole time. You know where she's going to go. She's going to hop on a plane, and she's got herself a residence at Trump Mansions in Dubai, or wherever that is, fucking outside Riyadh. All of these people are going to make their escape to a fucking country that we never liked before 2016, but now suddenly Saudi Arabia is our best friends. Maxwell alleges that 25 men. Ooh, does that mean there are women involved here? Because she specifically says men. Maxwell alleges that 25 men reached undisclosed deals, while 4 alleged co-conspirators were known to investigators but were never charged. She doesn't name the names of the individuals, but she says she knows who they are. None of the 4 named co-conspirators or the 25 men with secret settlements were indicted, the court filing says. Maxwell argues that alleged concealment of these deals undermined the fairness of her trial and violated her constitutional rights. New evidence reveals that there were 25 men with which the plaintiff's lawyers reached secret settlements. All right, there you go. That's all you need to know. You can look into that more. But that is a story we should have been talking about today, but we're not, because Prince Andrew invited Epstein to Buckingham Palace. See how it works? Stay focused. Stay focused. Where winners reside. That's right, Barney. Where winners reside. Trump Mansions. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Government shutdown. We're not even talking about that. We're gonna hang a gone fishing sign on this government in the next couple of hours, and it doesn't seem like there's any way that we're gonna avoid it. Here's the thing about government shutdowns. Oh, they're the worst things. Oh, they're terrible. Oh, nobody get paid. And then we find out, oh no, they still get paid. Oh no, we have oh no, they still get paid. Oh yeah, they still get paid. You know who doesn't get paid? Park rangers. Yeah, because they get paid. Government shutdown. We're supposed to be afraid of this. We've always been told it will destroy the country. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Let's just shut it down. Because I'll tell you, we shut it down for like 3 weeks a couple of months ago, and absolutely fucking nothing happened. It was like 3 weeks where it's like, is the government still shut down? Yeah. Does that affect you at all? Not the fucking slightest. Boom. So the government's going to get shut down because the Democrats will not vote for any budget. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to fund the government. Democrats are not going to vote for any budget that empowers ICE any more than it already is. They want the budget for ICE stripped. And the reason that that's not going to, the reason that we're not going to come to an agreement here, because as I said, all the Democrats are voting. A lot of Republicans are too. There's a bunch of Republicans who are like, yeah, we're not going to support ICE, not the way it's currently going. So that's a problem. And that is, two immovable objects. Although I got to believe that the Democrats and the resistance who do not want to fund ICE and this campaign of aggression and terror being perpetrated against communities from coast to coast, although they don't want to fund this anymore, they will. They will. It's fucking, you see who's leading the opposition? Chuck fucking Schumer. He's like, oh, we're going to stay dug in. No, you're not, you fuck. No, you're not. You suck. Get rid of him. Get rid of Chuck Schumer. That's the problem with the opposition. The opposition is still filled with people who are occupying the lever, the positions of moving the levers. They're still filling those positions with people who it's their turn. Like, that's the attitude. It's their turn. That's why we've got like 90-year-old men trying to understand fucking TikTok. We need new people. We need new people. The leader of the Democrats in the Senate cannot be Chuck Schumer if we want anything to actually happen in this fight for normalcy. President Trump is suing America. That's right. What the fuck, man? It just gets crazier and crazier. President Trump is suing America. He's suing the IRS for $10 billion. This is your guy. He's just doing everything that he possibly can, no matter how bad it looks, as long as it leads to fucking money in the Trump organization's pockets. He is suing us. He is suing the people of America for $10 billion because the IRS was mean to me. Oh, fuck you. President Donald Trump is suing the Internal Revenue Service and the Treasury Department. He's seeking $10 billion in damages. Trump, Donald Trump Jr., and Eric Trump. Oh, yeah. All the birds got to feed. On behalf of the Trump Organization, are suing the IRS and the U.S. Treasury Department in federal court in Miami on Thursday, following the leak of their tax returns by a former IRS employee in 2019. Trump Jr. and Eric Trump run the Trump Organization, an organization that the president has nothing to do with. We used to make fucking politicians sell their companies. We used to make them divest all fucking earnings and all profits from any company that what they were in charge of while they were president. And we don't do that anymore. You know why we don't do that anymore? Because Trump said no. Trump said, yeah, I ain't doing that. And they were like, well, sir, but you must. And he went, yeah, I'm not doing it. And they're like, but everybody has. And he's like, yeah, I don't know why they did. I'm not. Well, okay then, sir. And that's the world we live in, where it's never been more clear that everything is a construct. There are no rules. There are no laws. You do whatever the fuck you want. And if you have enough power and enough sway, nothing sticks to you. Nothing. The IRS wrongly allowed a rogue, politically motivated employee to leak private and confidential information about President Trump. This was the embarrassing tax dump, where it showed that Trump wasn't nearly as wealthy as he tells people he is, and he got embarrassed. This is 6 years ago. Yeah. Is it illegal? Yeah. Did the person who do it get in trouble? Yeah. All right. Hero. He's a hero, though. If you want to sacrifice your career inside the IRS by humiliating the great orange fascist, I'm all for it. A lot of people wouldn't do that. Heroes come in all shapes and sizes, but fuck that guy. You got in trouble. He's done. Case closed. No, Trump Organization wants $10 billion from the government. $10 billion for being humiliated. Back in October, the New York Times reported that Trump is seeking an additional $230 million from the Department of Justice over the FBI's investigation into potential ties between his 26 campaign and Russia. All right, so he's got $10 billion plus another one for $200. This motherfucker is suing us. And you know how he does this? We're going to write him a check. Oh, we sure are. We, the people, are going to write the Trump Organization a big, giant check because Trump's lawyers, who also happen to be the lawyers who are running the organizations he's suing, are going to sit down in a mediation with Trump's other lawyers, and they're going to go, how much money can we get Trump? And the lawyers for the IRS are going to say, well, what if we just pay you $500 million? And they'll be like, all right. And then Don Jr. and Eric have $500 million in a settlement that they reached with the government, that their dad, who has nothing to do with the company, is in charge of. The government, the money. Holy fuck, you guys. Holy fuck. And they're just doing it out in the open every single day, over and over. And you people are allowing it to happen because we're all flooded in the zone. We don't know where to start. Unbelievable. Let's see. What else do we have here? Let's watch this. This was funny. This is one of my favorite things. This is, this happens every time Trump has a cabinet meeting. He makes the dear leader moment. Trump has the cabinet meeting. He brings in the press and he goes, let's let everybody just, extemporaneously say something to the press. And then they go around the room and everybody just says how awesome Trump is. You, sir, are the most handsome. It's that kind of bullshit. And he requires it. Yeah, that's your blue collar billionaire. Yeah, he requires it. He's your guy. He's like, so still got Barney and Byron out here carrying water for this guy. I mean, I love my boys, but they're out here carrying water for this guy. They would call security in a minute if they saw you, I don't know who I'm talking to. They would call security on Byron and Barney in a minute if you guys walked into Mar-a-Lago. These people want nothing to fucking do with you guys at all, but you're still empowering them. All right. The top 5 most fawning moments from Trump's cabinet meeting. And by the way, the only reason I always throw out Barney and Byron is because I go back far enough with them and I know they can take it. Same way I pick on Adam and Frank. You'll notice I don't pick on a lot of people that I don't have. But I need these people. I need these totems in the chat room for me to be able to refer to. All right, let's watch some of the most fawning moments. Okay, how about this one?
Of the War Department, just like we did this.
All right, here's Secretary of Defense sucking Trump's peenie.
Of the War Department, just like we did this month. No other military in the world could have executed the most sophisticated, powerful raid, not just in American history, I would say in world history.
Oh, you've done the research. World history. That's it. The D-Day invasion, whatever. Hannibal crossing the fucking Alps. Oh, no, this. Arresting Maduro. That was in history. Come on. That's not embarrassing. That's not embarrassing. I thought Pete Hegseth was an alpha. He's completely cucked right there. Completely cucked. All right, let's see who else we got. Secretary of Defense. How about Howard Lutnick? This guy. Let's see what
That's
he
how
does.
you get money down. That's how you fix the deficit. That's how you get money down. That's how you fix the deficit. You are fixing everything with your policies. You've changed America and created the golden age.
Thank you. And with the...
All right, there you go. That's Howard Lutnick. That's some wild stuff. You, sir. Hold on, we got more. You better believe we got more. Let's see what else we got. Lutnick. Who else do we got? Kelly Loeffler. I don't even know what the hell she's in charge of. She was that blonde woman who's not hot. She's got like there's 4 things that you need to be hot. Like if you just want to be inarguably hot and you're a woman, tall, thin, blonde, and beautiful face. That's what you need. Those are the 4 things. Tall, thin, blonde, beautiful face. That's the default setting in America for a hot chick. Kelly Loeffler's got 3 of those 4. Her face looks like a hatchet fight. So, but yeah. Anyway, that's my sexualization of one of our cabinet secretaries here. Let's see what Kelly Loeffler, I don't even know what she's in charge of. What's she in charge of? Anybody know? Secretary of what?
And it will be destroyed by building low-income housing next to luxury housing. History says that doesn't work too well. Go ahead.
Okay. He's complaining about poor people living too close to rich people. but he's your blue-collar billionaire. All right, let's see what Kelly Loeffler has to say, but we want to start that again. Yeah, he's just shitting. We don't want the dirties by us.
And it will be destroyed by building low-income housing next to luxury housing. History says that doesn't work too well. Go ahead.
We're going to make sure that doesn't happen, Mr. President. Please. But under your leadership...
Okay, wait, did we stop? Okay, this is Kelly Loeffler. She's going to make sure that no poor people live anywhere near rich people. We're going to make sure that happens for you, Mr. President.
You've ended at least 8 wars, okay? But you've ended at least 8 wars, okay? But
at least 8 wars. You're the president of the United States. Shouldn't you have a firm number? At least? What? Why does he keep doing that? At least 8. Some say 15. You're the fucking president. You should have an exact number of the wars that you ended, but you're not because you're duplicitous and manipulative and you want people to think that it's even better. You didn't solve 8 wars, yet everybody just, what are these 8 wars that he solved? If that's the case, again, I want to see the 8 wars, and then I want to see how many wars Biden solved by the criteria set forth by Trump. I want to see how many wars Biden could claim that he solved, and I want to see how many wars Obama can claim that he solved, because this is some nonsense that Trump is throwing out there. We, the people, weren't even aware of 8 wars, but he's claiming peace. He's claiming that he's the peacemaker.
Probably the most important and underreported war that this president ended was Joe Biden and the Democrats' war on Main Street and hardworking families.
Oh, they're making up wars. Oh, that's what it is. They're making up wars, metaphorical wars. Well, Trump isn't letting us know that when he says, I've solved 8 wars. Okay.
Families.
Hold on.
And it will be destroyed by building low-income housing next to luxury housing. History says that doesn't work too well. Go ahead.
We're going to make sure that doesn't happen, Mr. President.
Please.
But under your leadership, you've ended at least 8 wars, okay? But probably the most important and underreported war that this president ended was Joe Biden and the Democrats' war on Main Street and hardworking families.
These people, they just can't help it. They can't help it. You know what they are? You know what the current executive administration is in this country? It is the cast of The Real World season 3. Why do I say season 3 of The Real World? If you go back and you remember The Real World TV show, the first season is undeniably the best season. Why? Because these people didn't know what they were doing. They block out the camera. They weren't playing to the camera. Season 2 was a little bit of that, but they had seen season 1, so they were aware that there was a camera there, so there was a little bit less real than the first season of The Real World. Season 3, it was all bullshit. Season 3, everybody in reality at this point knew that there was a camera there and that they could say things to get attention. That's what this administration is. It's a bunch of reality people who are playing to the cameras. She is saying this, Kelly Loeffler. The only reason she is saying this is because there are cameras there. She is playing to the cameras. I think the war, the most important one that goes most underreported, they all go underreported. We don't know what wars he's talking about. The war against Joe Biden and the people in the Main Street versus Wall Street, that war? The fuck are you talking about? All right, here's this Besant guy.
Internet, so we're telling everyone go fill out form internet.
All right, this is the guy. This is the guy who, in an interview last week, when was asked about the struggles of the middle class during these difficult economic times, he said that, and we played it, you may remember from last week, he said that these difficult times aren't really that difficult. I mean, take your parents, for example. I mean, they could sell one of their 13 houses. Don't you remember this guy said this? This guy thinks that, because times are difficult, well, you can just, double mortgage one of your 13 houses and you can take money. You can use that. This motherfucker thinks we have multiple houses and he's in charge of money shit. All right, let's listen to him. Let's see what he says. Oh, by the way, sell one of our 13 houses. That's what he said. That came a week before, a week after another Trump administration person, when talking about the economy and how groceries are more expensive, suggested that all the Americans need to eat is a piece of chicken and broccoli and a corn tortilla. That's all we need. Let me tell you something. If we got 13 fucking houses, we ain't eating a piece of chicken, a stalk of broccoli, and a tortilla. So which is it, you fucks?
Internet, so we're telling everyone go fill out form 4547, trumpaccount.gov. So thanks to you, the Trump accounts and Next Generation's America will benefit from today.
Yes, they want you to put your money in like a Trump savings bond. What could go wrong? What could go wrong there? The grifts are unbelievable. You got this fucking guy. We're putting them all in jail. We are. Well, I don't know if we're putting them all in jail, because we will have a return to a system of justice. But so I don't know. Maybe they won't be convicted, but some of them will. And we'll play a lot of this shit.
Internet, so we're telling everyone, go fill out form 4547, trumpaccount.gov. So thanks to you, the Trump accounts, the next generation's America will benefit from today's record-breaking economy, record-breaking Sir, when we came in, the Biden administration had destroyed the American people with the three I's: immigration, inflation, and interest rates. Immigration, check, you close the border. The inflation, as we've heard, back down to target. Prices are coming.
Immigration or inflation is fine. Inflation is great. I couldn't buy ground beef at the food store the other day because it was up to like $6 something, and I will not buy ground beef that's over $6 a pound. I come from a world where ground beef is like $4 a pound, so fuck you. But no, he's telling us, don't believe our eyes, don't believe our shopping experiences, don't believe the fucking food we put in our mouths. Everything's great, and it's because Trump's great, you're great, we're great.
Coming down, and interest rates, we hope there's more on the way. We've got gains in wages, low prices, and I think 2026 is going to be the year for the Trump boom. It's going to be a supply side boom.
Here we go. Just be patient. It's coming. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. The Trump boom coming. 2 weeks. About 2 weeks. Is that what we're saying? 2 weeks.
Enjoyed the trip out to Iowa. In the diner, the staff there was thanking you for the no tax on tips, and they're expecting big refunds from that. We saw the CEO of John Deere, who said, thanks to your tariffs, new plants in Indiana.
I can't do it anymore. I can't do any more of the fawning over fearless leader, the fawning that he requires. He requires them to go in front of the cameras and tell the cameras what an amazing job he's doing. It's at once my favorite thing about the Trump presidency and my least favorite thing. I don't know how I'm supposed to balance that. All right. By the way, I wanted to show you this. This comes to us from German TV. German TV, remember, they're going to respect us again. Remember that? Remember that whole thing? They don't respect Obama. Remember, they don't respect German TV. I didn't even know there was late night German comedy. I didn't know there was German comedy. Let's just start there. But this is how the Germans think of our president and think of us. Here we go.
We stopped about 5 wars. I stopped 5 wars. I've ended 6 wars. Stopped 6 wars. 6 wars. I settled 7 wars. Stopped 7 wars. 7 wars. 7 wars. We've stopped 7 wars, and really the number is actually 10.
Mindestens. Also eher 11. Eher 11, wenn nicht 50.
All right, there you go. They're making fun of us. All they do is make fun of us. They can't believe what they're seeing. But they definitely don't respect us. And they definitely don't love us. They're going to love us. They're going to respect us. We're hanging out with Uzbekistan and Mongolia. What the fuck? I don't even think Mongolia is a real country. But if it was, we'd be hanging out with them because they seem like the kind of country this guy digs. Found some new video here of Bavino. This was him in Minneapolis. He's gone now, so this is all in the past, but I'm sure we'll see a lot more of this kind of stuff. When I say that the people of Minnesota are upset by these foreign troops, federal troops, flags on their shoulders, my God, being dropped into these neighborhoods and behaving. What the fuck? The video that I want isn't there anymore. I hate when this happens. Hold on. Bavino addresses the troops. All right. Yep, there it is. Okay, sorry. That was all me. That was my problem. I'm the one that made the mistake there because I'm the dummy. All right, here we go. So this is the attitude that is coming to your town. Okay? This is the attitude. This guy is from California. He's been working the border in California. This is him addressing his troops in Minneapolis. And this is why the people of Minneapolis are so upset. This is the attitude. This is the energy. This is oppression from a federal troop.
city is it?
Fucking Irish is our fucking city. Arrest as many people that touch you as you want to. Those are the general orders all the way to the top. Everybody fucking gets it if they touch you. You hear what I'm saying? Less legals. We're going to look at shipping tractor trailer loads of that shit in here.
We're going to look at shipping tractor trailer loads of less lethals, the rubber bullets and smoke bombs and all of that shit. Because as he said, this is our fucking city. No, it ain't. And you keep saying that kind of shit, and this stuff is going to go really badly, really quickly. Your behavior already suggests that that's how you feel, that this is your city, but it ain't. Now you're saying it out loud.
So you catch what it's all about us now. It ain't about them. Professional.
Ain't about them. It's all about us. This is our city. We are taking over this city. That is the attitude and the aggressiveness. And that is why people who live in this city are like, no, it ain't your fucking city.
Illegal.
We are tribal fucking people. Push it. Especially in the north. Especially in the north where the big cities are made up of neighborhoods. It's not so much the case in the rural south. But in the north, this is the problem you're going to have no matter where you go. You go to Detroit, you go to St. Louis, you go to Chicago, you go to Milwaukee, you go to fucking Minneapolis, you go to Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, New York, Buffalo, Boston, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. You're going to get these problems because people will circle the wagons in their neighborhood.
Ethical moral, you know what we're talking about. Legal, ethical, moral. You're on camera. But other than that, it's what we do.
The city is it?
Fucking Irish is our fucking city.
And that's it. It's our fucking city. No, it ain't, Bavino, and it ain't yours anymore because you got sidelined, you fucking jackass. All right. So how does that attitude and that energy, how does that manifest itself? Well, every day we got a new video. Here you go, some new video.
Oh,
nice.
Show your face. You won't even know who you are. Oh, dude. You can't take my phone. You cannot. Oh, that's illegal, sir. That's condemned.
Hey! Stop that shit! Hey! You need to get off of her right now!
Get the fuck off!
You stole her phone! Hey! Call 911! Someone call 911! Call 911!
Get back. Get back.
Someone call the police! That is assault! That is kidnapping of her phone!
Shane, what's your name? What's your name?
That was illegal!
What's your
What's
name?
your name?
What's your name?
Someone call 911!
You legally have to identify
What's your
yourself.
name?
This is a part of
What's
the
your
Constitution.
name?
Identify
What's your
yourself.
name?
What's your name?
Who are you?
What's your name?
Shame! Shame!
They slink off into the night. No arrests. They just beat the fuck out of that old lady and then just walked away because they're not real fucking cops. If there was justification for the law enforcement officer to treat that citizen that way, that citizen should have been rung up on charges. But she wasn't. They just walked away because they're not real law enforcement. They didn't arrest her. Once again, like in the video that we saw from Alex Preddy 11 days before he was killed, where he's acting like a jackhole who should have been arrested, but he wasn't arrested because these aren't cops. These are thugs. All right. So if there are no charges for her for assault against a federal officer, there aren't. She wasn't detained. She wasn't put in handcuffs. She wasn't led to a vehicle and then processed at a station. She wasn't given due process for her transgression, which was what? Getting too close? Well, why did she get too close? We'll watch it again because this cop snatched the phone out of her hand when she was recording him. Her First Amendment legal right to document what these people are doing in her community. That is not even under question. We are allowed to film. This cop stole her phone and then threw her phone. And she went to get the phone out of his hand because he snatched it. And we'll watch it again. And then when she went to get the phone that he just stole out of this citizen's hand, he fucking ragdolled her. An old woman. Threw her into the grass and then walked away, slinked away with his other fucking rat bastards. They didn't arrest her. They should have arrested her. Why didn't they arrest her? So they just beat her up. So that's fucking assault. Watch it one more time. When they start behaving like law enforcement is when we will start treating them like law enforcement, but they are not behaving like law enforcement. Filming. Take the phone.
You can't take my phone. You can't.
Now she's trying to get her phone back, which is in her right. She has just been stolen from. He just stole her phone. He just stole her phone. Do you not have a right to try and get stolen property back? Because that's the reason she engages with him here. He refuses to give the phone. In fact, he throws her phone and then he beats the fuck out of her. And I say, oh, Pugs, he didn't beat the fuck. He's a grown-ass giant motherfucking ICE agent and she's an old woman in a parka.
That's illegal, sir. That's condemned.
Right here, he is losing his cool. He is losing his cool and he is no longer de-escalating. He is now escalating. This is all him. This is all poorly trained law enforcement who are operating with immunity against people. You got to take it. You're a cop. You got to take it. You got to take people screaming at you and telling you that you're a piece of shit. You got to take it because you're a cop. And you know why you got to take it? Because you're not a normal citizen. Because you're a cop, you are given certain rights to do things in retaliation to us. Because you're a cop. Now, you can't misuse those powers, and you can't just ring us up because we're saying things that you don't like, because, again, that's the First Amendment. Do you see how complicated or actually not complicated this is? These cops do not have these thugs do not have the temperament to do the job in the way that they're being told to do their job. There's multiple problems here. The way they're being told to do their job is wrong and violates people's civil rights. But then once they're in the process of doing that job, the way they're interacting with citizens who are saying, you're doing your job wrong, they're fucking getting away with this kind of shit. But Vino, this is our city. No, it is not. And then we see this. And you wonder why these people are upset. And you still want them all to be Antifa skateboarding, George Soros funded. They're not. These are people who live in the neighborhood.
Show your face. You won't even know who you are. Oh, dude. Oh, you can't take my phone. You cannot. Oh,
that's illegal, sir. That's condemned.
Hey! Stop that shit! Hey! You need to get off of her right now!
Get the fuck off!
You stole her phone! Hey! Call 911! Someone call 911! Call 911!
Yeah, that's it. Make sure your mask is pulled over your face. Make sure that there can't be any repercussions for the way that you're treating your fellow citizens. Don't worry. Don't worry. There's got to be a computer file somewhere with everybody's name. We'll find all your names, and we'll look and see what kind of video we have of the way you behaved when you were given these temporary powers. Unbelievable. Oh, well, should be out there. She should. No, yes, she should. Yes, she should, because she's a good American. Damn right she should be. Well, they're blowing whistles and making noise. And again, I say you'd have been the person with the window open, screaming at Paul Revere to keep it down. You don't understand what's going on. Some of you are so fucking lazy and comfortable, and you take everything for granted until these guys show up with their LRADs in your fucking neighborhood. All right, there you go. Barney with some good information. Barney's telling me that Mongolia is, in fact, a real country. It's between, well, I knew where it was. I just didn't know if it was still recognized as its own sovereignty or whatever. I don't know. I assume because of its location between China and Russia, I assumed one of those two powers would have gobbled it up, but I don't know. And even more to the point, I don't really fucking care. I don't care if Mongolia exists or not. I was fine not knowing. All right, let's see here. The Melania premiere happened last night. Melania. It's the new Amazon. It's the new Jeff Bezos completely funded access vehicle for Melania, you got to do something. You got to do something for Melania. All right, what if I put $110 million into a stupid film that nobody's going to want to see that talks about how great of a woman she is? Somehow I don't think it's going to cover how she came to America looking for a rich guy and then met the much older Donald Trump and was just swept off her feet by his bank account. I don't think it's going to cover that. I'm sure it'll tell a great love story. But I bet do you think Donald and Melania have a meet cute? No way. I bet you their meet cute is like meat disturbing. I bet you Jeffrey Epstein's involved. I bet you the day he met Melania, Jeffrey Epstein was there. It ain't a meet cute, it's a meat creep. Anyway, they were on the red carpet yesterday. Can't wait to see how humiliating the box office is for this, because apparently pre-sale tickets are not great. Trump is not turning out the MAGA people. Here, we got some video. And I'm always up for video of Melania. She's a beautiful woman, man. She's a beautiful, beautiful woman. And she's truly beautiful because she's old. She's like my age, and she's still beautiful, which is, I look at a lot of girls I went to high school with, and they're in the Melania in the crew, as you can imagine. All right, here you go. This is on the red carpet. I thought this was a funny one because it's her moment. She's being interviewed about the film, but also standing next to her is her husband, and he's being interviewed about something else, and you can't hear a goddamn thing she says because he's just talking over her.
Pleased with the job that he's doing. Do you feel that this change that you made, this personnel change, is an important one in terms of calming things down?
Well, I think he's terrific.
It's about everything from humor to grief to celebration. It's everything about family. Where's that accent from? What is that, a Carolina accent? Our first lady? Where's she?
We have to get rid of the criminals. We have to take criminals out of our country. So
I think everybody will connect. It will change my life in 20 days. That's what she's trying to say.
From that standpoint, nothing's...
Thank you. Can't believe I've seen the first lady's tits. That's crazy. First lady of the United States. I've seen her naked. What world do we live in where you can literally masturbate to the first lady if you so choose? God damn. All right, let's keep going. There's another clip though here. This one, this is Trump. Hold on, what is it? Trump says, okay, so Trump is asked directly. This is another one from the red carpet. Trump is asked directly about the bad look. Remember I told you he just floods the zone? They just flood the zone with bad looks. He's asked directly about how bad of a look this is that Jeff Bezos gave $110 million to promote or to produce a vanity piece for his wife, right? While she's currently the first lady and while he's currently the president of the United States for at least another 2 years, unless J.D. Vance can get his shit together and pull that 25th Amendment coup that I'm hoping for. So he's being asked about that. It's kind of troubling that you're taking this money from Jeff Bezos. This is essentially influence peddling, is it not? Is the spirit of the question. So let's see how Trump answers that. What do you, Mr. President, what do you say to people who are critical of the fact that Amazon paid so much to acquire the rights and produce this movie? That's the question. Okay, his answer is, I think you'd have to go ask President Obama. Let's listen. Of course, he is distracting. He is whatabouting. He is doing exactly, instead of answering the difficult question of, isn't it weird that you just took all of this money and your wife, it just looks bad. Jeff Bezos granting this kind of access. This is weird, right? Well, you'd have to ask Obama. He's talking about book deals and media deals and movie bio deals and all of these things that other presidents have done. There's nothing wrong with this, and there's nothing shady at all about Jeff Bezos doing this. Not at all, because you'd have to ask Barack and Michelle Obama because they did it too. No, stupid. Everybody else that you are mentioning did it after they were president. They were out of office. There was no potential for any kind of quid pro quo regarding anything else that Jeff Bezos may be interested in. They paid Michelle Obama, Netflix, a whole bunch of money because she's still extremely popular. Far more popular than you are. I know that's hard for you to imagine, but more people love Michelle Obama than love you, Donald Trump. And so that's the crazy sort of equation he's trying to make. You'd have to ask Obama because they got money from Netflix and they did it. And then the Bidens, they got, doing all of this stuff. Again, all of these deals came post-presidency, not while they were occupying the Oval Office. And that is a major fucking difference. But he doesn't want you to know that. He's going to smooth talk and fast talk like a fucking salesperson. And of course, there's never any follow-ups from these red carpet types. Like, the follow-up would have been, yeah, but they were out of office. But no, of course not. There's never that. Adam Rano would like it known that he used to masturbate to pictures of Mamie Eisenhower. All right. Fun fact about Adam. Let's see, the Melania premiere. Okay, here, this is kind of an addendum to a story we did yesterday. At the end of the show, we talked about the new Springsteen song, Streets of Minneapolis, and we listened to it, and a couple of lyrics. He's got some really great lyrics in there. I mean, that's what he is. He's a lyrical genius. Trump, of course, Trump doesn't like Springsteen, and Trump heard about the new song, and so he's mad, and it sounds to me like he's threatening Bruce Springsteen. Let's put this up. This was him from his Truth Social upon hearing the news that Bruce Springsteen had written a song critical of him. All right, let's read it. He says, from his Truth Social, he says, I see that the highly overrated Bruce Springsteen goes to a foreign country. Yeah, he's touring at the moment. Goes to a foreign country to speak badly about the president of the United States. What does one have to do with the other? See, do you see how petty and silly they are? These are all arguing. Remember the Dixie Chicks? They were in England when they said they were against the war. Oh, fucking, you're stupid. Shut up. Doesn't matter where they are. No, it does, because shut up. You're so gay. Why don't you go fucking criticize Obama for wearing a tan suit? You fucking disingenuous piece of shit. I see the highly overrated Bruce Springsteen goes to a foreign country to speak badly about the president of the United States. Never liked him. Never liked his music. Well, you played Born in the USA at your rallies until they made you stop. How do you explain that? How do you explain that, Trump? Remember? Springsteen had to sue him back in 2016 because he was playing Born in the USA. And Springsteen's like, no. And then he tried other music, and every fucking musician or artist of any note said, no, you can't play our music. And that's how we ended up with the Village People. That's how the Village People, because the Village People are like, well, we ain't done nothing in like 40 years. You mean we can get booked doing these MAGA parties? Yeah, you can use our song. And who would blame them? If I was in the Village People, I'd be riding this fucking wave for all that it's worth. You're not implicitly suggesting that you support him, but you're cashing checks based on the stupid people who like YMCA. I see the highly overrated Bruce Springsteen goes to a foreign country to speak badly about the president of the United States. Never liked him. Never liked his music or his radical left politics. Bruce is not radical left. Sorry, he's not. He's pretty centrist. And that's why the working man from coast to coast appreciates his sentiments, because he's not radical left. But okay, he disagrees with Trump. So everybody who disagrees with Trump is radical left. Never liked him, never liked his music or his radical left politics. And importantly, he's not a talented guy. Okay, Trump's the arbiter of talent. Well, he does run the Trump Kennedy Center. He's not a talented guy, Trump says about Springsteen. Just a pushy, obnoxious jerk. Nobody in the history of the world has described Bruce Springsteen as pushy, obnoxious, or a jerk. He is the direct opposite of those things. Do you know who is pushy, obnoxious, and a jerk? Well, you can guess. This is projection. He does this all the time, where he takes the things that are obviously his worst character traits and he makes them known and places them on somebody else. Because how can he, Donald Trump, be a pushy, obnoxious jerk if he's calling somebody else a pushy, obnoxious jerk? It's projection. It's known as projection. People do it all the time. We don't even think about it, but it is a method that's used in our everyday life, and Trump is a great one at it. He's a pushy, obnoxious jerk. Importantly, he's not a talented guy, just a pushy, obnoxious jerk who fervently supported crooked Joe Biden, a mentally incompetent fool and our worst ever president. Another fucking lie. Joe Biden, by no metric, is the worst president ever. You know who is? Yeah, you guessed it. Every fucking metric has Trump as the worst president ever. Despite him solving 5, 6, 7, 8 wars, despite him totally fixing the economy, which is perfect now, by the way. He fervently supported crooked Joe Biden, a mentally incompetent fool and our worst ever president who came close to destroying our country. There's more projection. There's more projection. If I wasn't elected, it would have been gone by now. Well, it looks like we're pretty much sliding away, Mr. President. But Springsteen is dumb as a rock and couldn't see what was going on, or couldn't he? Which is even worse. This dried out prune of a rocker, his skin is all atrophied out to keep his... This dried up prune of a rocker. Trump should not be criticizing other people's physical appearances, but he does it all the time. Because why not? We criticize his orange, stupid spray tan, fucking white under his eyes, his fucking weird ass hair, which isn't real. He's obese. He fucking, did you ever see it? Oh my God. Okay, but go ahead. You call Bruce Springsteen, who's super fit, still looks pretty fucking good. But Springsteen looks better in a pair of blue jeans and a tight white t-shirt than you do, Mr. President. But you do go on. Criticizing his appearance. He's dumb as a rock and couldn't see what was going on. Or could he? Which is even worse. This dried out prune of a rocker, his skin is all atrophied, ought to keep his mouth shut until he gets back to this country. That's just standard fare. Wait, what? It's not standard fare. What? Well, you're not allowed to go. Shut the fuck up. We ain't doing that anymore. It doesn't matter where you're standing if you want to criticize the president of the United States as a citizen of this country. Shut the fuck up. Oh. But those are the kinds of things that stupid people who want to support Trump will cling to. Like you'll hear your stupid aunt go, well, you shouldn't do that in another country. Why? Why, stupid dumb Aunt Gladys? Why shouldn't you? Well, just because it's standard fare. You know, that's the exact word that Trump used in his... That's interesting, Aunt Gladys. Springsteen's dumb as a rock and couldn't see what was going on, or could he, which is even worse. This dried out prune of a rocker, his skin is all atrophied, ought to keep his mouth shut until he gets back into the country. That's just standard fare. Then we'll all see how it goes for him. Ooh! Well, yeah, let's see it. Go after Bruce Springsteen. Let's see. Go ahead, Trump. Is Trump threatening Bruce Springsteen there? Sure fucking sounds like it. Why do you care? If he's overrated and he's a nothing now and he's got terrible this and he's nothing and you don't have to worry about him, why are you threatening him? He needs to keep his mouth shut until he gets back into the country. That's just standard fare. And then we'll see how it goes for him. Ooh. all right. So Trump wants us all to believe that Bruce Springsteen is completely irrelevant. He's overrated. Nobody likes him. Nothing like that. So I was interested. Yesterday, I said while we were listening to the streets of Minneapolis, I said, I wonder how do you even track a song like this? I mean, we don't have record sales anymore. Radio stations don't really push popularity of songs. I don't know how we're going to measure this. I wonder if this song will be heard. Oh, it's been heard. It's been heard. Trump may want us all to believe that Bruce Springsteen is irrelevant, overrated, doesn't do anything good anymore, and is terrible. But guess what? In 24 hours, Bruce Springsteen, Streets of Minneapolis, went to #1 in 19 countries. Countries, by the way, that he had never had a #1 hit before. So a whole new crop of people being introduced to Bruce Springsteen. Let's go through the list of countries where Bruce Springsteen, Streets of Minneapolis, is currently #1 in the iTunes listings. And these are the listings that matter now. People are downloading music. It's about the #1 downloaded song, not the #1 song purchased in record stores across America. It's about downloads. Bruce Springsteen has the #1 iTunes download in the United States. #1 in America. #1 in the United Kingdom. #1 in Australia. #1 in Canada. #1 in France. #1 in Germany. #1 in Italy. #1 in Netherlands. #1 in Spain. #1 in Austria. #1 in Belgium. #1 in Denmark. #1 in Finland. #1 in Ireland. That's good to see because Bruce Springsteen isn't big in Ireland. Not the last time, but late 90s when I was in Ireland. I remember I was screwing around with a jukebox and I noticed that the jukebox in Ireland had no REM, who was very big at the time, and they had no Bruce Springsteen. And I remember talking to the bartender about it, and he's like, yeah, neither of them, they're not really known here. Like the bartender knew who they were, but he's like, yeah, they're not really popular. So Bruce Springsteen, #1 on iTunes in Ireland. That's good. #1 in Luxembourg, #1 in New Zealand, #1 in Norway, #1 in Sweden, #1 in Switzerland. 19 countries in 24 hours. That song went to #1 for a guy that's irrelevant, overrated, has no fans. #1 in 19 countries. Now, what do we notice about the countries that song went to #1 in? It's all the good countries. Not a goddamn Board of Peace member on this list. Remember Trump's Board of Peace? Remember he's gonna create this thing that's gonna counterbalance the UN Security Council, and he's charging $1 billion for any nation that wants to be a part of Trump's Board of Peace, and he's got nothing but Eastern European fucking dictatorships and Uzbekistan, he's got Qatar, he's got all the fucking worst countries, but none of the big worst countries. Like he doesn't have China. He doesn't have Russia. He's got Belarus. Remember I told you yesterday or 2 days ago, Belarus has joined Trump's Board of Peace as sort of a proxy for Russia because Vladimir Putin doesn't want to be involved in this because he knows it's a fucking scam. He doesn't need to give Trump $1 billion. He's like, yeah, I'm going to sit this one out. But I'll send Belarus, go tell me what's going on with these nerds. None of those countries are represented here. These are all the good countries. All the best fucking countries. The countries that we would want to travel to are all the you don't want to go to Uzbekistan. You don't want to go to Kazakhstan. You don't want to go to Turkey or Oman or whatever the fuck else is on this Board of Peace. No, you want to go to United Kingdom. You want to go to Australia and Canada. You want to go to Austria. You want to go to Germany and Denmark and Sweden. You know, normal people fucking countries. All of them within 24 hours made Bruce Springsteen's Streets of Minneapolis the #1 song on iTunes. So Trump, fuck off, you crybaby. Fuck off. All right, here's a fun story. This is a good one. Should we do this, man? We got a lot more to do here today. We've got a lot more. I want to get into this Luigi Mangione story. Luigi Mangione, there's a couple of stories breaking today about Luigi. He's that super hot, crazy assassin. Couple things can be true all at once, I suppose. He killed the healthcare guy on the street. We know who Luigi Mangione is, and it's such a great name. We're never gonna forget. We know. You hear Luigi Mangione. It's not like if the guy who killed that United Healthcare executive, the guy that Luigi Mangione killed, that guy's name was like Tom Scripnapolis. We'd have never remembered his name. No matter how hot he was, we'd have never remembered Tom Scripnapolis' name. Hell, I just said it 3 seconds ago and I got it wrong. Luigi Mangione, that's one we commit to memory because it's lyrical and it flows and it's fun. Anyway, we got Luigi Man. Somebody tried to break Luigi Mangione out of jail. And there's some big news concerning his upcoming trial. So we'll talk about that. We got a whole bunch more stuff too. So hang with us. Let me go to the bathroom real quick. We'll come back. More of the Daily Rant with me, Pugs Moran. Talk for the opposition. Normal people talk continues after this. All right, here we are. We're back. We are back. One more time, a big round of applause for our executive producer today. Joel M. is our executive producer. He tipped the most on yesterday's show. This show exists because of your tips, because every now and again you drop a little something. It keeps us going. We've been doing this kind of opposition talk every day for 5 years now. That's right. Started in 2021. If you want to keep it, you want to keep us on the air. You want to keep us streaming, drop a little something in the Venmo or the Cash App because we don't have any advertisers. We don't have any special interest money. We haven't even been offered. And I don't mean it like we don't take special interest money. I would fucking totally take special interest money at this point. Problem is, I would tell you that these people are paying me to say this, and they don't want that. And that makes it a little bit more troubling for them. So that is the economy of the streamer. The economy of the streamer does not have the same sort of rules that apply to broadcasters. Broadcasters, everything is monitored by the FCC. If you are doing a commercial, you have to let the audience know it's a commercial. You know who doesn't have to do that? Fucking the magosphere. They don't have to do that. They don't. Oh, they are really testing the rules of product placement as far as advertising goes. No, they don't have to do that. So their money, like say a guy like Tim Pool, who gets paid a whole bunch of money, or at least used to get paid by the Russians. Now some American special interests have stepped in and sort of kept him well funded. But those people tell him what to say. They say, look, here, these are the issues, and we need you to be on this side of the issue. And if you are, then, you'll keep getting your $100,000 a week to produce your show that, honestly, I produce for like $10 a week. That's how it works. That's how it works. Special interests are out there. All right, let's talk. I said I wanted to talk a little bit about Luigi Mangione, but first, there is some breaking news concerning the court case. It says Luigi Mangione will not face the death penalty in New York. He's not going to face the death penalty. Luigi Mangione will not face a possible death penalty sentence in New York federal criminal case where he is charged with killing health insurance CEO Brian Thompson. A judge ruled on Friday. Manhattan U.S. District Court Judge Margaret Garnett dismissed 2 of the 4 criminal counts against Mangione. The potential maximum sentence for the remaining 2 for causing Thompson's death is life in prison without parole. So apparently a couple of things were dropped. He is no longer qualified for the death penalty. And there you have it. Luigi Mangione is going to be the prized twink in prison for the next 20 years at least. I mean, he'll be there past 20 years. I just don't know how hot a 50-year-old Luigi Mangione is going to be, you know, to a bunch of horny Crips who are just looking for something to bang on, if you know what I mean. Although I imagine that he's in some form of ADSEG at the moment. Yeah, that's right, ADSEG. I'm using prison terms because I'm watching The Mayor of Kingstown, which is all set in a prison. I imagine Luigi's in administrative segregation at the moment because that's where they put the celebrities and the people who can't be with somebody else in a cell because that other person might kill them or they might kill the other person. ADSEG. I'm sure that's where he is. The celebrity wing, if you will. But here's the real story. This is the fun story that came out yesterday regarding Luigi Mangione. Again, the big news today, he's not going to face the death penalty. But yesterday, last night, we had this story. A man has been arrested after reportedly posing as an FBI agent while trying to break Luigi Mangione out of a New York jail. Mark Anderson, 36 years old, was charged by authorities on Thursday over the alleged incident, according to multiple reports, citing law enforcement sources familiar with the situation, including ABC News. What? ABC News Anderson? Oh, Mark Anderson. Okay. According to ABC News, Anderson allegedly showed up at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn and posed as a federal agent while claiming to have a court order for Mangione's release. Anderson allegedly drove from Minnesota to New York to break Mangione out of prison. First of all, Minnesota again? What is going on with Minnesota? Wasn't Brian Thompson, the healthcare official, wasn't he from Minnesota? He lives in Minnesota. This guy, Mark Anderson, is driving to New York to try and break out Luigi Mangione. Now, was this serious? How close did he come to breaking out Luigi Mangione? I mean, if you tell me that your plan is you're going to pose as an FBI agent and you're going to proceed to present documents that will then allow them for you to take custody of Luigi Mangione, an incredibly high-profile prisoner, right? You would think you'd have a plan. You would think that Mark Anderson spent a lot of time, I don't know, acquiring fake FBI documentation. I don't know, maybe putting a Word document together that looked like a criminal court or something from a judge that would allow a prison, once again, to hand over an incredibly high-profile dude. So high-profile. You would think Mark Anderson would have a plan. He had no plan. Apparently, he showed up at the Metropolitan Correction Center there, presented himself to anybody. He was wearing a hoodie and blue jeans, presented himself to the person at the desk, said that he was an FBI agent and that he had these papers here and that they needed to release Luigi Mangione to him. And the dude behind the desk went, "Okay, can I see your FBI badge?" And Mark Anderson said, "No." And Mark Anderson gave him his driver's license with all his actual information. The dude behind the desk scanned the driver's license, gave it back to him, and then said, "What else you got?" And he said, "Well, I've got these." and he handed him papers that Mark Anderson claimed were from a judge granting him custody of Luigi Mangione. They were blank white sheets of paper with no words on them, nothing. So come on, it's not a real jailbreak. There was never, I mean, this is a crazy person. It's a crazy person who's like, I'm just going to tell them I'm FBI. They'll give them to me. If they need papers, I'll just hand them these papers. Well, there's nothing on those papers. Well, they just said they needed papers. Let's see here. What else do we have? He drove from Minnesota all the way to New York to break him out from behind bars. Mangione is currently facing murder charges. Criminal complaint has been obtained by ABC News. It did not name Mangione in the new attempted prison break. Well, that's good, because Luigi had nothing to do with it. Why would Luigi going to catch a little shade now? Hey, I didn't have anything to do with that guy. That guy just showed up on his own, claiming he was going to break me out. I didn't even know about it. So that's good. So Luigi is not involved in this. Criminal complaint obtained by ABC News didn't name Mangione in the new attempted prison break, but sources told the outlet that Luigi was the intended prisoner. It says here, according to the complaint, Anderson was armed. He came armed. All right, so good. An FBI agent. He had weapons. Remember, he's got no FBI badge. He's got no identification that says he works for a federal agency. And then when asked for the papers from the judge granting him custody of Luigi, he handed them blank papers. And now we learn that he had weapons. You thinking a gun? You thinking a knife? He was armed with a pizza cutter and a long barbecue fork. Here's his weapons. Here we go. I got a picture of his weapons. These are the weapons that he had on his person that he was going to use to break Luigi out of prison. I love the pizza cutter. See the red pizza cutter? I love that because that's got the Luigi vibe. He had a pen on him. There's his driver's license. There he is. He had a barbecue fork and he had a pizza cutter. So he was serious. He was serious. What else does it say here? Anderson allegedly presented a driver's license and some blank paperwork to officials, but obviously did not have the credentials that he claimed to have. No, of course he didn't. There you have it. There you go. A little update on Luigi Mangione. He's got, dude, what do you think that dude wanted to do? Like, do you think that dude, like what, did he want to be friends with him, or did he want to kill him? Like, we don't know. Like, somebody might want to break him out of prison to kill him. Who knows? Crazy is crazy, man. The dude went to prison with no paperwork, claiming to be an FBI agent, armed with a pizza cutter. Nothing is off limits. Who knows what this guy was getting into? Found this piece of video yesterday. I wanted to share this with you. It's pretty interesting. And, it kind of shows, a whole right side of history in the moment. People are shit. I believe that people are terrible. I'm a humanist. I have faith in my fellow man of being able to pull out of whatever problems we have. Seems to have worked for how long has humanity been around? 4,000 years. Seems to have worked for, thousands of years. Not a big man of faith. I don't believe in religion. I do consider myself a Jesuit. I love Jesus Christ. I think he seems like a really cool man. It's the extra step I'm not willing to go to, but okay. So I've been pretty clear about who I am. I also believe that human beings are born terrible. I think that a baby, when he's born, is probably, if he could speak, one of the biggest assholes you ever met in your life. I believe people are born selfish. I believe people are born dependent. Well, obviously they're born dependent. They're babies. But I believe that we would steal from others if nobody taught us not to. I believe we would injure and hurt and be cruel to others if nobody taught us not to. I believe that we are born as absolute horrible, horrible things. And the goal is, as you live and as you grow and as you're guided by parents, you are turned into a functioning, decent member of society. But I do believe that we are pretty much bad people, selfish people. Humanity, I believe, is flawed. We work very hard to overcome these flaws. And there are great people out there, but there's also, this explains why there's so many fucking assholes who are just like, oh, what do you mean I'm an asshole? I'm not an asshole. And it's like, dude, you are clearly an asshole. I don't see it. Yeah, you don't see it because you've never been taught. I want to play this for you because it's of all the stuff that we've got going on in Minnesota and the dead people in the streets. And, some people say, oh, it's like Kent State. I also talk a lot about programming, about the way things are just stated as fact consistently over a course of time, and we begin to believe those things. That's programming. Talk to somebody, grab somebody who's 40 years old and say, tell me about Kent State. And the program will probably take that 40-year-old, the programming will take that 40-year-old and they'll be like, oh, it was terrible. It was, they killed people. And that's the programming. Everybody knows Kent State was terrible. Everybody knows it was terrible. Everybody knows you can't kill unarmed college kids. We sent troops there. They shot and killed 4 kids right there. Horrible. The right side of history is that was a horrible thing. And it was a horrible thing. You can't have troops shooting college kids on American campuses and say that's fine. Just as we can't have what we're seeing in Minneapolis now. But I want to play this because I found this yesterday and thought this was interesting. These are man on the street interviews from the day following Kent State. These are just stopping people on the street back in 1970 saying, hey, what do you think of the Kent State massacre yesterday? Let's hear what some of these pieces of shit who we probably call our grandparents, let's see what they had to say back then about the Kent State shootings, something that we all now historically look back on and go, yeah, that was bad. That was totally unavoidable. We shouldn't have done that. Let's listen to what some of these people had to say about the Kent State shootings back in the moment.
About the shooting at Kent.
The people weren't behaving properly, and apparently they have asked for that sort of thing.
So you think the guard was justified?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry they didn't kill more.
Really?
Yes, because they were warned and they knew what was happening.
I'm sorry they didn't kill more. That's a human being back in a time when we weren't overly influenced by all different kinds of media designed to make us say and think ways that they want. This is just a fucking feral American mind from 1970. She doesn't have a phone where she reads what people says. No, this is just her in her life. She's got 3 channels, and she was asked, what about the dead kids? And she said, I'm sorry, there aren't more. I'm sorry that they should have killed more, she says.
So you think the guard was justified?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry they didn't kill more.
Really?
Yes, because they were warned and they knew what was happening and they should.
They were warned. They were told by an authority figure. And if you don't do what an authority figure says, they can kill you. They should have killed more just to make the point more clear. This is somebody's fucking grandma.
Should have moved out.
If that's what it took to break them up, well, then that's what it takes.
Right after the shooting, we were ordered off campus. We had to leave. So I got home, my mother wasn't there. My father walked in the back door and he looks at me and he says, they should have shot all of them. And I said to him, and I never talked back to my father, I said, don't you know then that one of them, those people would have been me? And he just walked into the other room.
I mean, that's... People are shitty, man. People have always been shitty. They're just like, oh, yeah, I saw on TV they killed a bunch of kids. I mean, what the fuck, man? You can't do that. You can't send the army onto college campuses and just allow them to start shooting citizens. You can't still call yourself a patriot or pretend to walk around having any understanding of how this country came to be. You cannot be okay with that, but there you are. When we talk about being on the wrong side of history, there's an example of a bunch of people who are on the wrong side of history. They should have killed more. They should have killed them all. All right, now we're going to watch, so we're in the video segment here. We're going to watch some weird videos, and we're going to comment on them, some stuff that I found that I thought was interesting. This comes to us from a city council meeting. You know, we love the city council meetings. City council meetings are now a thing. People going to city council meetings and, you know, making crazy viral videos, trying to be funny, trying to be interesting. Here's a weird one. I want to show you this one because there's a lot going on here. And the things that are going on simultaneously don't necessarily jive with one another. So here's what happened. In Santa Clara, this is Santa Clara is where the Super Bowl is being held. The Super Bowl is coming in 1 week. 1 week from Sunday, we got the Super Bowl out there in Santa Clara, home of the 49ers. So this is a Santa Clara, California City Council meeting from this week. And a gentleman dressed as the Dark Knight. He's dressed as Batman. A guy dressed as Batman walks in to address the council about preparedness for the Super Bowl. So Batman has shown up and he wants to talk to the city council about their preparedness for the Super Bowl. But here's the weird thing. He's not trying to be funny. He's like dead serious. This guy is dead serious about what he wants done, and he's dressed like Batman. It's crazy. All right, let's watch this. This is the Santa Clara City Council's office. This was, or not City Council's office. This is the Santa Clara City Council meeting. The Dark Knight Batman has some problems with the ramp up to the Super Bowl. Let's listen to Batman.
What the f*** are we doing here? Seriously, you have had months to prepare for this upcoming event. This needs to have happened 2 months ago.
He's demanding to be taken seriously while dressed like the Dark Knight.
But you can still make it up and make every single policy on this little sheet of paper here happen right now. Happen before the Super Bowl. You need to affirm that no city resources will go to ICE, that no cooperation will be given to them. I'm not begging you, I'm demanding that you act with some semblance of a spine. Do something!
Thank you.
I don't know what to make of that. What? It was like, sir, he didn't go for any jokes other than, you know, just, I am so angry. And he's dressed like Batman. That guy's nuts. That guy was fun. That was fun. All right, there you go. Batman shows up to, or the Dark Knight, whatever. I don't know. Shows up to a, we got some weird here. There's some more good video. We got some weird Trump video yesterday. Yesterday, we already went through the cabinet meeting, where everybody went around and said, Trump, you're the best. We love you. But then he also signed a bunch of stupid shit. I don't know, executive orders. I don't know what the hell. He just signs executive orders. I think everyone's got to put their golden retriever down. I think that's a new one that he signed. It's not going to be popular. That's right. If you own a golden retriever, Trump has now mandated that you must put them down within 72 hours. Anyway, here he is signing some bill, something. And remember that dude, Burgum, Doug Burgum? I think he was like the governor of who gives a fuck. Well, he was governor of one of those states that don't count. But he looked like George Washington. Remember that guy? He looks like George Washington. And Trump pointed out that he looked like George Washington. And now suddenly Doug Burgum's in Trump's cabinet. And so we're looking at him. Here he is. Here's the he looks like modern George Washington. I shit you not. Go just Google it. There are some funny like side by sides. So here's Doug Burgum, and this is Doug Burgum's wife. And Trump is going off script again. And Burgum's got a hot wife, and Trump's going off script. And I think you know where this might be going. Trump makes it weird.
You know, I saw them riding horses in a video, and they said, "Who is that?" I was talking about her, not him. And they explained it. I said, I'm going to hire him because anybody has somebody like you to be with. It's an amazing tribute, and it's a great couple, amazing couple.
Oh, there you go. Trump made it weird. I saw a video of them riding horses, and I said, "Who's that?" And they said, "Doug Burgum, governor of Montana." And I said, "No, who's the chick?" He's funny. It's just upsetting that he has so much power. Somebody that funny shouldn't have that much power. And the president of the United States should not be simping on, Doug Burgum's hot wife. By the way, how hot is she? Let's see. Let's investigate that. Let's see. But Doug Burgum's wife. Okay, hold on. Doug. Oh my God. All I put was Doug. And guess what filled? Doug Burgum wife. Apparently a lot of people want to see what Doug Burgum's wife looks like. We saw her back there behind her. Yeah, okay. All right. Yeah, man. I mean, she's a little older. She's a very attractive older woman. Very attractive older woman. All right, there she is. There's Doug Burgum, who looks like George Washington, and there's his wife. Very pretty. Yeah, look at them. Very pretty. He looks like George Washington. Pull out some money, man. Just pull out some money and look at how much he looks like George Washington. Funny. All right. Hold on. Okay. Wait a second. Where's the side? Where's the side by side? Oh, here we go. Okay. All right, here you go. Doug Burgum, George Washington. They look the same. And apparently his wife is a George Washington fetishist because she's way hot. All right, let's see. What else do we have? Burgum's wife, that was weird. Sydney Sweeney's giving interviews now. She just stop with the MAGA stuff. She just wants it to be over. She's never said anything about it. She doesn't want to be. Well, I'll tell you what she says. Sydney Sweeney doesn't like being called MAGA Barbie because that's not what she is, she says. Sydney Sweeney has just accused President Trump and his supporters of using her as their own pawn. She's being asked, she was asked about being called MAGA Barbie. She responded, "I've never been here to talk about politics. I've always been here to make art. So this is just not a conversation that I'm really interested in having or want to be at the forefront of." And I think because of that, people want to take it even further and use me as their own pawn. But it's somebody else assigning something to me. And I cannot control that. Sydney Sweeney was then asked, why not correct the MAGA Barbie label if it's not true? Where is the line for you? She responded, I haven't figured it out. I'm not a hateful person. If I say that being MAGA Barbie isn't true, they'll still come at me like, you're just saying that to look better in Hollywood. There's no winning with these people. Sydney Sweeney going on record. Now, why is she going on record? Because in the beginning, it may have been a good boost to her, right? It was, oh, look at us, MAGA, we got like a hot girl. So she didn't say anything about it. But then she had 4 movies absolutely tank at the box office in a row. And many experts think it's because people see her as MAGA. And now she's saying, look, I never did any of that stuff. They put that on me and I didn't say, and she's right. She shouldn't have to like put herself out there after they say she's MAGA Barbie. She shouldn't be in a position where she's got to go, no, I'm not. Because then she's going to make people mad. And then MAGA people are going to be like, oh, fuck her then. Or if she says nothing, she had it on the left where people are like, oh, she's a MAGA Barbie. I feel bad for her. I mean, not terribly because she's a beautiful woman with a lot of money and she's very young. And the rest of her life is going to be an absolute fantasy. Whatever the rest of her life is, I don't know. But it's going to involve having a lot of money all the time, private jets and yachts. She's Sydney Sweeney. She's like 28 and like, you know, the hottest chick in Hollywood. She'll be fine. Anyway, she's speaking out on that. All right, let's see here. She's trying to save her film career. She's trying to make sure she can't get cast now. Producers are like, God, we'd love to put Sydney Sweeney in this, but isn't there like a boycott on her or something? People won't go. Which is terrible. Leave her alone. Leave her alone. Let her be. Her parents are MAGA. That we know. So what? A lot of people's rural parents are MAGA. Doesn't mean that their Hollywood theater kid is. She's probably nothing. She's a dumb theater person. Leave her alone. All right? Mark Ruffalo will make his politics known. All right? There are certain Hollywood celebrities who are more than comfortable talking about their politics. For every Mark Ruffalo, there's a Scott Baio. One is a star in the Marvel universe, and the other one was on Charles in Charge 50 years ago. Whatever. She doesn't want to be political, so leave her alone. Leave her alone right and leave her alone left, okay? Because I need Sydney Sweeney's only got what? Maybe 5 more years of just being like prime Sydney Sweeney. Let's see if we can't get her in as many sexy movies as possible, and then you can be done with her. Then you can do what you want. But let's not tank her career yet. She's too hot. Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham probably got to put up with this a lot. I thought this was a funny video. This guy. All right, so here's the deal. So everybody knows that Lindsey Graham is gay. Everybody knows that Lindsey Graham is gay. Everything about Lindsey Graham says that he's gay. Everybody knows that Lindsey Graham is gay. Trump knows Lindsey Graham's gay, and that's why Lindsey Graham went from... Do you remember when Trump gave out Lindsey Graham's cell phone number? Do you guys remember that? The 2016 campaign? Trump goes, here's Lindsey Graham's phone number. And he literally gave out Lindsey Graham's phone number publicly. They were at war. They hated each other. And now Lindsey Graham just loves everything about him. Trump's got pictures. Trump's probably got videos. Trump's probably got all kinds of fucking compromat, as his Russian friends might call it, on Lindsey Graham. Everybody knows Lindsey Graham is gay. I mean, first of all, have you ever seen him? I mean, he's about as precious a little southern daffodil as they come. But he's also at the same time a war hawk, which is kind of weird. I think he's overcompensating. I think he's so hawkish because he's obviously a closeted gay man from the South who has aligned himself with a very conservative worldview, and so he cannot be gay. So he's got to be 80 years old, having secret sex with dudes in hotels while Trump's got a camera somewhere in there. Anyway, this is what he's got to put up with. So Lindsey Graham is just walking through the halls of Congress, and he's putting up with this kind of stuff. But let's watch his reaction. We'll break this down.
Hey, Lindsey, why don't you just admit that you're gay, and then people won't blackmail you anymore?
Just admit that you're gay, and then people won't blackmail you anymore.
Hey, Lindsey, why don't you just admit that you're gay, and then people won't blackmail you anymore?
One more time.
Hey, Lindsey, why don't you just admit that you're gay, and then people won't blackmail you anymore?
He's going to come out of the closet as soon as he decides that he is not going to run for re-election. But he can't. He's never been married, never had a girlfriend, never shows up anywhere with a girl, lives with his, lived most of his adult life with his elderly mother and his sister. He's got a sister. He's got a spinster sister who also never married. Lesbian. That's what that means. I know. We used to call them spinsters. They're lesbians. So obviously he and his gay sister are being, they live together, and she's my best friend. We're just as close as they come. How sad. How sad that this guy has spent his entire career codifying an environment that makes it so that he can't be comfortable being who he really is. That's going to be his contribution to the cause. Lindsey Graham, anti-gay gay man. All right, here's another piece of video that I want to show. And I stole this video from my buddy Ed. Ed, of course, of Radio Misfits. Ed had this on his page, and I saw it, and I thought to myself, what the hell is that about? It's a video. Here's the most amazing thing. This video comes to us from China. It's kind of the whole point of this. There's a live streamer in China. And this live streamer apparently gets hit by a car, which seems to make sense because she appears to be doing her live stream in the middle of a street. Let's just watch how this plays out. And then I have some questions.
前两天他们都在说好听好听，然后今天不知道怎么回事，就怎么也弄不好，就很莫名其妙。 回事儿，这怎么也弄不好，就很莫名其妙，就很莫名其妙。
Okay. All right. So apparently, all right. Oh, they got a ring light. Oh my God. Oh, they knocked everything off. Nothing got unplugged. The live stream stayed recording. All of that. This car just comes by and sideswipes her.
就很莫名其妙。我操！
Oh. Oh. All right, we're gonna freeze it there. I don't give a shit about anything that we're seeing. I don't fucking. She got hit. She's fine. She's hurt. She's like, Here's what I want to talk about. This is China. This ain't the China that I thought. I thought China was a bunch of people wearing, like gray jumpers with crazy hats, and they had pickaxes, and all they did was do slave labor in fucking a horrible environment, and there's smoke everywhere, and it's gross. This chick's wearing a fur coat. This chick is hot as hell. This girl has all kinds of internet equipment. She's streaming. She's probably got shit tons more followers than I do. This is China. This is the hell that we've been told about. Now, look, forgetting, of course, that she's doing a live stream from the middle of the road and she gets hit by a car. Those, to me, are the least interesting aspects of what we're seeing here. This is China. Once again, I thought that they weren't allowed out. Communism and all that. You have to do your work and then you go and you stay in your little funky cinder block apartment.
还好好的，前两天好多人，前两天他们都在说。
And also, not for nothing, I had no idea that communist China had super hot influencer chicks. Look at this.
好听好听，然后今天不知道怎么回事，这怎么也弄不好。 就很莫名其妙。
She's the best. All right. Oh, wait. Oh, I'm sorry. Stop just as she got hit. It's so cute at the end where she just goes Hataba! Hataba! That's the only thing that happens to her. She gets hit by a car while live streaming, and she's in this she's got great fashion sense, man. She's sexy as hell. I don't know what she's doing, but that's sexy. That's the good kind of. I like the kind of sexy that isn't revealing. I know she's wearing the fur coat. She looks good. All right. What the? Wait, what does she say exactly? Because I'm gonna start saying it. Whatever Chinese word that lady says. Oh, let me see that one more time because it is my favorite. What the patata? All right. Boom, boom, boom. Her name is Haruka Suzumori. That's not. Wait a second. That's not even Chinese. That's Japanese. Yeah, I know the difference between Chinese names and Japanese names. Is this in Japan? Is my entire argument? It says this is from This is from China.
然后今天不知道怎么回事，这怎么也弄不好。
I mean, I also have questions about this. What is that? A motorcycle with a roof? A motorcycle with a canopy? Can we see this one more time? What is going on here?
这怎么也弄不好。
Yeah, look at it. It looks like a golf cart maybe, but it's a motorcycle.
就很莫名其妙。
Okay, here we go. Coming to my favorite part. Oh, look at her. She lets out that little, isn't that the cutest little squeak? Oh, it's cute. Let's listen again. Here it is. My favorite part. Show the elbow.
我操！我操！我操！
Huzzah! That's what it is. Huzzah! Every time I'm hurt from now on, I'm going to go, huzzah! I have no idea what that means. Some China lady words. China lady words. Yeah, that's a wild one. Thank you, April, for the breaking news. We were watching this. Okay. Yep, there it is. All right, thank you, April. April's got some breaking news in the world of football. And that's fine because we're just basically out of show here. We're basically rolling on gas. Rolling on fumes, as we say. Where is it? We will give. Boom! There she goes with her breaking news. All right, so this is news to me. Well, it's not news to me, but it is news that I'm interested in. There you go. May not be what other people may. If you're in Baltimore. All right, so the breaking news, Declan Doyle, Apes got it wrong, but she corrects herself. She knows she got it wrong. Baltimore Ravens are replacing John Harbaugh. Or no, actually, no. See, I got it wrong. Sorry, April, you confused me. Declan Doyle has been hired as the new offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens, which is interesting because Declan Doyle is the offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears, which isn't a job at all because the head coach is Ben Johnson, one of the brightest young minds in the world of offensive coordinating. So Chicago, we knew. We're not upset that we lost Declan Doyle, although Declan Doyle, he is a comer. He is going to be a head coach. He's 29 years old. Last year, he was the youngest coordinator in the NFL, and he was brought from Sean Payton and the Broncos. Sean Payton reached out to Ben Johnson and said, hey, I got this kid here on my staff. He's really good. And they hit it off, and Ben Johnson made Declan Doyle his offensive coordinator. Not an important job. If you are the offensive coordinator of a team and your head coach is an offensive coordinator who is now head coach, you are not, in fact, the offensive coordinator. You are running your head coach's offense. You don't call plays. Ben Johnson calls all the plays. So we kind of assumed that Declan Doyle might be looking for a situation where he can call plays. Now, from a sports world perspective, why is this interesting about him going to the Baltimore Ravens? He was offered the job of offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders. Turned it down. This was last week. He said, I want to stay here. A lot of us in Chicago who are Bears fans are like, oh, that's cool. That's cool. Declan wants to stay with Ben. He's going to learn a little bit more. Why not? Declan Doyle's got a year under Sean Payton, and now he's got a year under Ben Johnson, and now he's going to the Ravens, where he's going to be the offensive coordinator, to Todd Monken. Todd Monken is the new head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. Why would Declan Doyle make what many think is a lateral move from the Chicago Bears offensive coordinator job to the Baltimore Ravens offensive coordinator job? Because the Baltimore Ravens just hired a defensive guy, Todd Monken. Todd Monken is a defensive coach, and they're going to need somebody to bring an offense. So now here you go. You're going to have 30-year-old Declan Doyle running Lamar Jackson's offense. That's good for him. Good for him. I hope Declan Doyle, I wish him nothing but the best. But he wasn't an important part of what the Bears have. We lost Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy was our running backs coach. We lost him. He's now the offensive coordinator in Kansas City, which is where we took him from. That's a loss. Eric Bieniemy was a great leader. Declan Doyle going to the Ravens, I'm not all that worried about it. I'm happy for him, though. I'm very happy for him. So good. He'll get the call plays. Wait, Monken's a defensive coach, isn't he? Hold on. Is Todd Monken a defensive or offensive coach? No, he's an offensive coach. Wow. All right. I thought Monken was a defensive coach. I knew, but I wasn't 100% sure. That's why I had to go look it up. Todd Monken is an offensive coach. As of 2026, he was named the head coach of. Wait a second. No, he's not with the Ravens. Okay, wait a second. I'm all kinds of confused. All right. Todd Monken, who came from the Ravens, is not the Ravens' new head coach. Todd Monken has been named the new head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Todd Monken, let's forget about him. Never mind. Why was I confused? Because the Cleveland Browns are the Baltimore Ravens, and the Baltimore Ravens are the Cleveland Browns. They're the same franchise. They just moved. They just changed. Anyway, point is this. Baltimore Ravens are originally the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns who exist now are a new team named the Cleveland. It's very confusing, but let's make clear. Todd Monken is an offensive coach. He's in Cleveland. Let's forget about that. Baltimore does not have a head coach. They do, however, have an offensive coordinator who is looking for an opportunity to call his own plays, something that he currently does not do as the offensive coordinator of the Chicago Bears. So that would suggest to me a defensive coach in Baltimore, right? The head coach there. All right, let me look this up. Hold on. Did the Ravens name a coach? Did they find a coach? What are they doing there? Jesse Minter. There you go. It's Jesse Minter. And he's a defensive coordinator. All right, very good. That is why Declan Doyle is going to work, because now he's going to put his offense out there for the first time. He's been running Sean Payton's and Ben Johnson's. And now, anyway, this is all right. Very good. Very good. Jesse Minter. There we go. God damn. That was all kinds of wrong. It was just all over the place. I was confused because I thought I knew Monken had gone somewhere. And for some reason, I got the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens confused because it doesn't matter anyway. I don't care. We got it figured out. Jesse Minter is the new head coach there in Baltimore, and Declan Doyle is the offensive coordinator. Very good, very exciting. Yes. All right. What else? Guys, give me a break. Catherine O'Hara died today. I've been in a tizzy for the last 3 hours. I have no idea what's happening. Oh, how about this? The German government put this on their TikTok, put this out yesterday, caused a lot of people to kind of go, huh? Check this out. They're joining forces. All of the people who used to be our friends, all the people that we used to count on if we ever had anybody else, they're all joining forces, and we don't seem to be in their new clique. The German government posted this on their TikTok. Let's see how they're trying to rebrand themselves.
He would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
By the way, the picture's on the backpack. It's Keir Starmer, that's Macron, and it's the leader of Germany. So this video put out by Germany is saying that the three of us, we're now one.
We prefer respect to bullies. We do prefer science to plotism. And we do prefer rule of law to brutality. It's a good place. And my guess is that it is largely underpriced by the market.
European friends.
Loyal, for sure.
Competitiveness.
For sure.
Defense of freedom.
For sure.
Security.
For sure. A rule of law. For sure.
Justice, peace, respect.
For sure.
Europe must stand together.
For sure.
Well, there you go. New world. Yeah, I used to just kind of think we were just an extension of Europe. There are people. We got us, we got America here, and then if, we want to go to Paris, we go to Paris. Not anymore. Not anymore. We're in league with Uzbekistan now. Now it's about Turkey. We go to Turkey, where I just imagine everything smells horrible. Horrible. Don't you think that if you're just walking down a street in Istanbul, you're going to be like, is that like human crap? Is that is that like bad clove cigarettes mixed with urine? What is the smell in Turkey? I can't get it up. These are our friends now. These are all our friends. Not Germany, the UK, and France. No, they're done with us. They think that we're drunk. We're drunk at the party. We need to be taken home. So they're ignoring us. They're pretending they don't even know us anymore. They're out there putting out TikTok videos about European security and the triumvirate of the United Kingdom, France, and Germany. I'm sorry, folks. That's a tough triumvirate. That's a pretty badass group of countries. Those people, they put their shit together. They can get things done. Used to be the ones we relied on most. All three of those countries at one point or another had ruled the globe. Okay, all three. There was a German. Actually, I don't think the Germans ever. I know the Germans tried. The Germans tried on 2 occasions, but everybody else knocked them down. There was never really a German empire. There was a French empire. Napoleon ruled everything. There was a British empire. We know about that. They ruled everything. Well, just about everything. You get my point. These are not shitty little countries. We're a shitty big country because we're all fat, lazy, and stupid, and we just expect everything to be handed to us because we're number one. That's who we are. Meanwhile, the people we used to count on, they seem to be circling their wagons going, you know what? It's just us. It's just us. They're not with us. Everything that we thought is a lie. It's just us. So that should be disturbing that the German government is putting that out there. Just letting everybody know. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, I saw an interesting story. I don't know who this person is, but I did want to mention this to you. This big story in the Hollywood Reporter yesterday about the new Hollywood It Girl. Do you guys know what an It Girl is? Well, Sydney Sweeney was most recently the It Girl in Hollywood. I think before her, wasn't Lenny Kravitz's daughter the It Girl for a while? The It Girl is a girl of the moment who sort of identifies the bankable female in Hollywood at any given moment. The new It Girl, as Hollywood is calling her, is somebody that I'd never heard of. Her name is Odessa Azion. Okay, Odessa Azion. She's apparently in this new HBO Max show, I Love L.A., that everybody is talking about. It's a show for like Gen Z girls or whatever. It's kind of like Euphoria, kind of like Girls. You know, it's HBO's next, and it's a hit. People really like it. And I guess the star of this is the new It Girl. Her name is Odessa Azion. She's also one of the stars of Marty Supreme with Timothée Chalamet, which is the film that is, a lot of people say it's going to win all the awards. So this is her. This is Odessa Azion, the new It Girl in Hollywood. She's in a bunch of stuff. Anyway, I don't want to lose the picture here. I just want you to be able to look at her. Because after all, that is who Hollywood is saying is the new It Girl. So I'm reading about her, and I don't really care about this stuff, and I would never bring it on the air, except would you believe she's a Nepo baby? Of course she's a Nepo baby. But the name Odessa Azion doesn't really ring any bells for me. I'm like, what do you mean she's a Nepo baby? Her mother is Pamela Adlon. Do you guys know who Pamela Adlon is? Pamela Adlon is one of my favorite writers, comedic actresses, producers. Here, I'll show her to you. Well, first of all, I think she is, she's most famous. She's Bobby Hill, right? On King of the Hill, the voice of Bobby Hill. That's first and foremost who I think Pamela Adlon is most famous for. She also starred, and this is going to be important as we talk about the story. Pamela Adlon starred in a TV series on FX that ran for 5 seasons called Better Things. And it was essentially her life story. Not her life story, but the story of what her life was at that point. Here, we'll show you a picture of her so you can all go, oh, I know who she is. All right, here you go. This is Pamela Adlon. She is the mother of Odessa Azion, who is Hollywood's new It Girl. Pamela Adlon was, she's Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. She does Rugrats. She does all kinds of voices because she's got a great voice. She was in Better Things. Better Things was a situation comedy on FX that was about an actress in Hollywood who had middling success. She was a working actress who could afford a home and all that stuff. And she was a single mother of 3 daughters. Pamela Adlon starred, Pamela Adlon wrote, Pamela Adlon created the show. It was the story of her as a single mother in Hollywood, as an actress, a working actress, not struggling. They had nice stuff. She was on King of the Hill. She can afford a nice place to live. But it was that's what Better Things was. And it was a really, really good show. And it really talked about the 3 daughters and what it's like being a single mother of 3 daughters. By the way, her eldest daughter is Mikey Madsen, the girl who won the Oscar for Best Actress last year. Yeah, so that's where Mikey Madison. That's where she came from. The middle daughter in the show Better Things was a character named Frankie. And one of the story arcs in Better Things about Frankie was that Frankie had some gender dysmorphia. Frankie was sometimes portrayed boy-like, sometimes girl-like, and that was kind of her character throughout the run of Better Things. Odessa Azion is Frankie in real life. Hollywood's new it girl is this person who we want. Not to say, like, there was an actor that was cast to play her, but the role that she was playing was essentially Pamela Adlon's middle daughter, who is now Hollywood's it girl, who resents that portrayal on TV, to the extent that Hollywood's new it girl, and we're looking at Pamela Adlon here, her daughter, once again, the name is Odessa Azion. Odessa Azion, I guess. Her does not speak to her mother anymore. How terrible is that? So here you have this girl. She is Hollywood's it girl. She is the daughter of Pamela Adlon, who is very well respected in Hollywood. Everybody likes her. She's terrific. She was Louis C.K.'s writing partner. She was also on the show Louis. If you ever watched Louis, she played his best friend in Louis, but she was also his writing partner. She wrote that show too. So now her daughter grows up. Those of us who watch Better Things, we know who this girl is who's all grown up because we saw the portrayal of Frankie in Better Things. She doesn't talk to her mom anymore. She's out on her own. She's, here's what it says. I'll read you. It's really kind of sad. She feels that her mother put things out on the television show that she was very uncomfortable with, and that it has affected their relationship. Here, let's go down. This is from the Hollywood Reporter. Here, we'll give you some more pictures of her, get a better picture of her. Yeah. I don't know. I just think this is like a wild, sad story. There you go. There she is right there. Honestly, I've never seen her before. I'm more familiar with the character of Frankie and the actress cast to play Frankie than I am with the actual real person that Frankie was based on. So that's her. Attractive. I mean, her mother's attractive. Let's see. I'm trying to find the part here in the story. To some degree, Odessa Zion's career feels preordained. Her mother has been a highly respected Hollywood fixture for decades. Best known for Better Things, she also worked on King of the Hill and Californication. That's right. She was one of the stars of Californication, too. Her father also worked as a producer and director, though not nearly as successful as her mother. Her sister, Gideon Adlon, 3 years her senior, is an actress best known for the 2018 comedy Blockers. I remember that I knew of her. Okay, never mind. Hold on, we'll move forward. Anyway, the reason that her last name isn't Adlon is because of that very reason. She doesn't like her mom. She doesn't have a relationship with her mother. And the sad thing is that her mother, Pamela Adlon, on her Instagram page is apparently promoting all the incredible things that her daughter is doing. And her daughter wants nothing to do with her mom's praise, which is wild. When she was 16, Odessa, we're talking about the girl we're looking at here. When she was 16, her mother's show Better Things premiered. It ran for 5 seasons on FX, starring Adlon as a divorced actress raising 3 daughters on her own. Adlon received widespread critical acclaim. Seriously, if you've never seen Better Things, it's an excellent show. Adlon received widespread critical acclaim, plus multiple Emmy nominations and a Peabody Award for the series. Peabody Awards are awards that are given to series that are undeniably great, that the other award ceremonies typically overlook because they're thought to be either too smart, too intellectual, or too powerful. So a Peabody Award is a big one. That means it doesn't matter how many fucking Emmys you won. You got a Peabody. It's like the Pulitzer of TV. It's a really big one. All right, so she won a Peabody for that. She's won multiple Emmy Awards, a Peabody Award for the series, which is widely known to be a thinly veiled autobiography of her life with her daughters. The series depicted her on-screen daughters experiencing common coming-of-age issues like puberty, but also more heightened and vulnerable moments. The middle sister, Frankie, this is the one that was based on Odessa, Hollywood's new it girl. The middle sister, Frankie, has a period of gender dysmorphia and is often shown being quite cruel to her mother. Adlon has always insisted that Better Things storylines are exaggerated, but the comparisons to real life are still a sore spot for Azion, who began using a stage name inspired by her middle name, Zion, back in 2021. She's still uneasy discussing her mother or the name change. She says people will assume things based off watching that show. She reads from a note that she has saved on her phone, which she wrote in advance of this interview, expecting this question. All right, so you get it? So that she knew that they were going to ask about her mom. So she so practiced about this. She pulls out her phone. She had pre-wrote what she wanted to say about her mom, and this is it. And this is heartbreaking to me because I really like Pamela Adlon. People will assume things based off watching the show. And all I can say is it's very much from one person's perspective of a possible shared experience. What does that mean? What is that? I guess she's saying that the stuff on the show was true, but it's from her mom's perspective, not necessarily her perspective. People will assume that things based off watching the show. All I can say is it's very much from one person's perspective of possible shared experiences. When asked whether watching her mother's career inspired her to become an actress herself, she is equally guarded, saying, "It's really hard to talk about without getting into personal specifics that I probably shouldn't let the world know about," she says. Did her mom try to talk her out of being an actress? She responds, "Again, it's really hard to answer." Azion declined to discuss her current relationship with her mother. I mean, how terrible is that? It's just terrible. I mean, honestly, it's interesting to me because I watched Better Things, and the middle child of Frankie was Mikey Madison was the oldest daughter, and she was kind of more important because she was older and could participate more in the adult storylines. But the middle daughter of Frankie, the one who is based on this new Odessa Zion, who is Hollywood's new it girl, the middle daughter, Frankie, was not likable at all. It's not. I mean, despite the fact that going through gender dysmorphia and stuff like that, but really kind of a little jerk. So, wow. I mean, it's weird that like all these years later, the person who was portrayed as a jerk in her mom's show is like, yeah, I don't talk to my mom anymore. Well, that's kind of jerky. That's kind of like, that's, instead of talking about it. Anyway, there you have it. Thought that was an interesting story about Hollywood's new it girl, Odessa Zion, whose real name is Odessa Adlon. Odessa Zion Adlon is her real name. That's a pretty good name, though. That's pretty good. Like Odessa Adlon. That's pretty cool. I think that's a pretty cool name. Brown says that this kid seems like another ungrateful scumbag Hollywood kid. All right. Well, I don't know that I would add scumbag. She doesn't seem like a scumbag. She sounds like a young woman who has mommy problems. And I'll tell you, that is a wild one. When daughters and mothers decide that they're in a war, they're in a war. It ain't like fathers and sons. Fathers and sons can get pissed at each other and won't talk to each other for like, I ain't talking to him this week. But then something will happen and everything will be fine. Because that's how guys are. Because like, yeah, whatever, I'll get over it. Women don't get over it. Women hold grudges. It's just... Why are you saying this about women? I don't know, because I've been around them my whole life. I just know. I know that every woman that I've ever been in a serious relationship with, this is something I've mentioned a million times. Every woman I have ever been in a serious relationship with at some point has looked at me and while speaking about their best friend has said something like, yes, fuck her. I'm never talking to her again. I hate her guts. Every single one. Guys don't do that. Guys just drop, we're just not friends anymore. But we don't go around going like, I'm so mad at him. We don't do that. And we don't get mad at our friends. We get pissed at our friends, and then we forget about it. And then we move on. Why? Because men got to go out there and fight wars with other men. Men got to work teamwork, right? That's the way the traditions of humanity have been. Not recently, right? In the last 50 years, we let women out there. They can come join us now. But I'm talking about traditionally. It was men who had to figure out a way to put their petty differences aside and just fucking fight the Romans or whoever it was that was coming. Women never had to do that. Women could just sit around and be passively aggressive petty with one another forever. Just what I say. I just threw in scumbag for artistic merit, but I stand by it. All right, there you go. All right, guys. One more time, I want to say thank you to our executive producer today. Our executive producer of today's show is Joel M., the great Joel M. Thank you, Joel. If you want to be the executive producer on Monday, it is the end of the month. I know you're getting paid. Drop a little something. Help us out. This show exists 5 years and running every day at noon. We exist on your gratuity. So please help us out. Drop a little something in either the Venmo or the Cash App. Do that. Thank you so much. Jeff's absolutely, this is absolutely right. Jeff says men will literally punch each other in the face 1 minute and then be drinking beers together the next. That we get over it. We can get over it really quick. Girl pulls another girl's hair. Forget about it. They aren't speaking for years. Yes, Joel. Joel wants to know if he can list being executive producer of this show on your resume. You absolutely can. And depending on how much you tip, you can put me down as a reference. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. Thank you, Joel. Appreciate you. And again, if anybody wants to be the executive producer for Monday, well, here's your chance, guys. You just drop a little something in the Venmo or in the Cash App. All right, this weekend we got a new Saturday Night Live. I found this. We can watch this. The reason I'm mentioning it is because I think it's going to be a good one. It has been a good season. It has been a very good season of Saturday Night Live. This comes after my hypercritical assessment of last season, which was chaotic. Last season, there appeared to be two writing room influences doing battle week after week, depending upon who the host was. There were some hosts that leaned in more with the theater kids who were doing all the song and dance stuff last year, which I fucking hate. That's not sketch comedy. That's musical theater, but whatever. There was a lot of that. But then there was also a more edgy writing room that seemed to emerge last year. And on occasion, depending on who the host was, like when Shane Gillis hosted, it was obvious that the edgy writers were getting their material on the air. This year has been more consistent. This year seems like every episode you can expect the same kind of thing. There doesn't seem to be this duality going on as far as what the vibe of the show is. I really think that this season of Saturday Night Live has been great. And again, of course, you have to say that knowing that, while you're watching it, everybody hates it, right? This show sucks. And then on Monday, they're like, yeah, I saw that. That was funny, right? People just are so hypercritical of this show. Doesn't matter. Shut your mouth. It is a barometer of pop culture in this country and has been since 1976. And this has been a good season. And I think part of the reason that this has been a good season is because of Ashley Padilla. From the very first episode, I'm like, who the fuck is this featured player that is in every sketch and driving every sketch? She's obviously the breakout star. She's obviously the one that the writers are writing for. She's obviously the one who is pulling off these performances. Because, when you write something on Saturday Night Live, you write it for a person in mind. I'm writing this for you. But what happens is oftentimes during the process, somebody else can do that character better and it becomes for them. That ain't happening with Ashley Padilla. Apparently, she is nailing everything that is written for her because she is in every other sketch. And she's good. She's good. If they were forcing somebody who couldn't sell every sketch, then I'd be like, oh, it's a shitty year. They're really pushing this. 3 years ago, we had that. 3 years ago, we had it with Bowen Yang. where they were pushing him in every sketch. And I'm like, he is the most one-dimensional cast member you have. Why is he being forced down our throats? Anyway, they're doing that with Ashley Padilla this year, and it's fucking great because she's very funny. Anyway, one of the things that I'm excited about this week is it seems like it's a really good host and a really good musical act. Here's the host, Alexander Skarsgård. I love Skarsgård. I love Alexander Skarsgård. He's like the super handsome Skarsgård. There's like 15 different Skarsgårds out there. You got Lupe Skarsgård. You got Don Skarsgård. You got Alexander Skarsgård. You got Stellan Skarsgård. You got Floki Skarsgård. There's a whole bunch of them. None of those names are real except Stellan and Alexander. I can't name the brothers, but he's got a bunch of brothers who are out there too. And Alexander Skarsgård, super handsome, but also the kind of handsome that I can handle because he seems like he's got charm and cool and wit behind the handsomeness. And if that's the case, I'm just like, yeah, whatever. You're awesome. Yeah, all right, you're awesome. I'm not just gonna be mad at you because you're handsome, which is the case a lot of the times. If you're just a handsome guy and you've got nothing to back it up with, I fucking hate you. I'm just gonna be like, fuck that guy. But if you're handsome and you're like Alexander Skarsgård, and then I'm like, all right, look at him. And I'm a straight guy saying this. Alexander Skarsgård has been in everything from True Blood. I think that's where he's most famous from, right? Eric Northman. He was the Eric Northman the Viking vampire. It's very cool. Two things that are cool: Vikings and vampires. Two things with V's. Jesus, vagina. Everything with a V is cool. Everything with a V is cool. I like everything with a V. Find me something that's bad that begins with a V. You can't do it. It's the kind of thing we do here on the show. Anyway, Skarsgård is the host, and Cardi B is the musical guest. Isn't that interesting? Because this week, of course, we had Nicki Minaj in the news. Nicki Minaj, we told you the story yesterday. She's working Trump to get her brother, who molested her niece at 11 years old. Cardi B. Nicki Minaj's brother raped his 11-year-old daughter a whole bunch of times, stepdaughter, whole bunch of times, and is now doing 25 years to life in prison in New York State. And that's the reason Nicki Minaj is sucking up to Trump. It's the same reason that Brian Urlacher did it. Brian Urlacher got his brother a pardon simply by going, "You're the coolest." So this is what most people believe is going on there with Nicki Minaj. Anyway, Nicki Minaj is famously in a war with Cardi B. They hate each other. They're like the yin and the yang. They're the Coke and the Pepsi of whatever that world is. And here we have this week on Saturday Night Live, Cardi B as the musical guest. Here's my prediction, and this is why I wanted to do this. Saturday Night Live is absolutely going to do something this weekend concerning Nicki Minaj sucking up to Trump. How much you want to bet they cast Cardi B to play Nicki Minaj? Book it. Book it. I said it right here. Come on, please. Like, I can't produce this show. You absolutely know that was pitched. Now, whether or not Cardi B is comfortable with it, we'll see. But that'll be something. That'll go viral. If Cardi B, who absolutely is in a well-documented war of words with Nicki Minaj, if Cardi B plays Nicki Minaj in some way to humiliate her, oh, it's going to be great. It'll be great. Anyway, here, we'll watch these. You know how they do the promos? I don't know if you know how the promos work, but you usually get a cast. You get a cast member, you get the host, and then you get the musical guest, and they come out and they stand next to each other and they go, "Hey, Saturday Night Live this week," and they improv. They just start riffing, and they do a bunch of them. They do like 10 in a row, and then they'll take like the 3 best, and then we'll see those. So here's a bunch of these. I don't know if we call these outtakes, but they're a bunch of promos that they cut. Chloe Fineman, Alexander Skarsgård, and Cardi B. Here are their promos for this weekend. Oop, hold on, sorry. Nope. Here we go.
Hello, I'm Alexander Skarsgård, and I'll be hosting SNL this week with Cardi B.
Is Cardi B short for cartilage and bone? I only asked because I'm mentally unwell.
You're so funny. Police!
Policia!
You too?
Hi, I'm Alexander Skarsgård, and I'll be hosting SNL this week with Cardi B.
I'm so excited.
going on with your voice there, Chloe?
I've been doing extremely dry January. No liquor, no soda, no juice, no water.
No water.
Yeah, you guys should try growing extremely dry.
No, thank you. I like to stay nice and wet.
I too opt for wetness. Hej, det här är Alexander Skarsgård och jag hostar SNL den här veckan med gästartisten Cardi B.
Svenska, okay.
What the hell is going on?
Svenska!
It's not one of the romance languages, is it?
Hi, I'm Alexander Skarsgård and I'll be hosting SNL this week with Cardi B.
Wait, let's play truth or pick up Chloe and throw her over your shoulder like a sack of flour.
Truth.
Would
please.
you pick up Chloe and throw her over your shoulder like a sack of flour?
Do you want me to do that?
Oh, yeah.
Excuse us.
Oh. Woo!
Gosh, she got the best pickup lines. Wait for me.
There you go. All right, so that's tomorrow night. My prediction, and the whole reason we just played that was because I wanted to get my prediction out that I think Cardi B is going to perform or pretend to be Nicki Minaj in some sketch that has Trump and Nicki Minaj. You watch. You heard it here first. VD. Joel, there you go. There's a word that begins with D. No. VD. I asked for words that begin with V that are bad words, negative words, words we don't want. He says VD, which stands for venereal disease. I would argue that it's the D in VD that makes that a bad word. I don't know what venereal is. What does venereal mean? Is venereal a bad day? I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yikes is right, Ross. I'm with you there. Yikes. All right. I think that's going to be it. Once again, thank you so much to everybody who contributed this week. We run on your tips. Drop a little something if you can help this show continue. We'll be back on Monday. I'm going to try and get out of here before the snow comes. We are getting some snow. There was snow falling as I was doing the show. I checked it out on my last break. The snow is all gone, but we are going to get a bunch more snow tonight. So I want to get home and get off the road, and I got to go shopping. I got to get some stuff. If it's going to snow, I'm going to be snowbound. What am I going to do if I don't want to go out? Anyway, these are all problems I can just run through my head without you folks being here. I love you. We'll see you back here on Monday. It is The Rant. Like, follow, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff, or just flat out support us with your money. Drop a little something. Love you guys. We'll talk. Bye.